For more information about the show or our network, please visit www.podcastdetroit.com.
The Mumps invaded WWE Raw and its TLC pay-per-view. Did WWE do enough to make us give a damn about it after that? What was the fallout of it? Survivor Series is coming up and hashtag Under Siege is trending. Why? We'll get into that as well as talk about our Periscope video where we just had our first ever punishment from our pro wrestling scorecard picks tonight as we... You are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling podcast in history. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
The rightful champ. Armbar in the house.
I thought he said rifle.
Righteous.
Smitey the Mighty, former champ. He just keep my belt warm for me.
Just Orlando, man. Sadly.
Z.
Callie.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey. TLC just happened on Sunday. The Mumps invaded WWE, so there was a whole bunch of changes that happened Friday afternoon. We had already made our picks. Obviously, we do the show live on Wednesdays. And we had already made our picks, and I was like, crap, this whole thing changed. I got in contact with the guys from Pro Wrestling Scorecards and said, well, this is fun, because we were even talking about it on our show last week. We said, this might not be the card come Sunday, the way these sicknesses are being talked about. The one that really caught everybody by surprise was Roman going out. Because there was talk about Bray. Everyone knew Bray, Bo, and JoJo were all out with viral meningitis. Turned out to be the Mumps. And then Roman went out. And so the main event of TLC, which was supposed to be the re-debut of the Shield on WWE pay-per-view, did not happen. Instead, they replaced him with Kurt Angle. They replaced Bray Wyatt with AJ Styles, setting up the two first leaders of Bullet Club going up against each other for the first time. So we made our pro wrestling scorecard picks on Friday and Saturday. We got them out to you guys a little bit before the pay-per-view went on Sunday. And Joe just destroyed these picks. I think he put up for Hell in a Cell was what, 109?
You got 110 here.
110 for Hell in a Cell, so then 109 for TLC.
Yes.
So Joe just blew everyone out of the water. I was a close second to him after the first pay-per-view when I had my own 107, and then I shit the bed on the extras for the TLC pay-per-view by only getting 5 points on the two extras for the tables and the extra people coming out, unscheduled appearances. So that took over. I think the second, now Z jumped in that one. I think you scored with your picks because you just combined them both. Your Hell in a Cell was...
My Hell in the Cell was 107, so I was right there with you. We were tied for second.
Right.
In my regular picks, not my actual championship picks.
Yeah. And so your TLC pick, you scored what now?
145. Oh, no,
that's your total.
That's for one. Wait. That's okay. Total for okay.
Yeah,
so
you're 107 for.
So for TLC, it was 90 points.
90 points. Okay.
Yep.
Smitty, what did you score with TLC?
I got a 103.
You were the one who jumped up there because he was like second to last. No, you were last.
I was last,
and that kind of saved your butt.
No dick pies for Smitey.
Callie came out of nowhere with some huge numbers for TLC. Callie, what'd you pull for TLC?
I got a 98 for TLC.
98 for TLC, and 106
6 for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. So Callie overall was number 2.
Yeah.
Z's regular picks came number 3 for him. Obviously, that's why he did not get the loss. And one and only Mr. Kid Hybrid himself, Orlando Christopher, rushed his picks on Saturday. Rushed his. And it was funny because Callie had not watched the pay-per-view. She went to the pro wrestling scorecards and she just added up all the points.
It was like, fuck this, I'm not getting a dick in the face.
And she said, I hope one of you have fun. Now, I already knew that. I thought it was me. I was like, what? No, I didn't do that bad. Because I just assumed she was always mocking me. And it turned out it was Orlando.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, no, we're going to
There's
talk
a
about
video.
It. Yeah,
it's good enough.
Yeah, there's a video on our Twitter at BDRcast. You can check that Periscope out. A couple missteps. Couple.
Couple. That's fucking shit the bed with.
I'll be honest. The 2 that he said that he messed up, because he only lost by 5 points. If he would have switched those extras, he would have won. He would not have lost by 1 point. And then Smitty would have come in last place.
Happy Smitty.
How hard is it to get pie out of your hair, Smitty?
It's hard to get anything out of my hair.
That's why there's so much.
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. The struggle is real.
I got nappy nigga hair.
Oh my God.
So next pay-per-view is Survivor Series. The day before that is NXT TakeOver War Games. Those are our next 2 Pro Wrestling Scorecards picks. The weekend of November 18th and 19th, we'll have the go-home show before that. We are going to have our picks, and we will let everyone know what the punishment is for that. Now, the reason all of this switched up, the mumps. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor at TLC.
I heard that it was possibly the mumps.
I also heard meningitis.
Yeah, I heard it was either meningitis, possibly the mumps. Has that been like
It's been confirmed. It was the mumps, and they'll be reevaluated.
I thought there was. Don't we get vaccinated for the mumps?
The MMR, so it's measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine.
So why
So
are they
yes.
why are they getting the mumps?
Because some people never got vaccinated
Those
because
people
anti-vaccinators. So,
Yeah, we're not going to go into that political rant.
Idiot.
I don't, honestly, I've not done any type of research to find out if you're supposed to continue getting vaccinated for that.
No, I believe it's one and done.
One and
Yeah,
done?
one and done.
All right. So TLC was substituted. Like I said, AJ Styles went in for Bray Wyatt, and Kurt Angle made his in-ring debut to WWE after in-ring return to WWE after 11 years, where he teamed with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in the main event TLC match. So, quick rundown. Alicia Fox was defeated by Sasha in the kickoff match. Asuka defeated Emma. Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann beat up Gentleman Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick. Alexa Bliss defended her title against Mickie James. Enzo became the 2-time WWE Cruiserweight Champion when he beat Kalisto. The Demon Finn Balor defeated AJ Styles. Jason Jordan defeated Elias in the buffer match in between the Demon versus AJ. And Kurt Angle, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins defeated Miz, Bar, Kane, and Braun Strowman, which we'll get into.
He was murdered.
Well, yeah, was a great
murder.
So let's start off with the huge one. AJ Styles coming over from SmackDown Live, taking on Finn Balor, turned what nobody gave a fuck about into something everybody gave a fuck about. I thought the match stole the show, personally. I am not saying it was a top-tier match of the year, because you could definitely tell AJ was exhausted. He had a conversation on Raw Talk afterwards where he said he literally flew 18 hours. He didn't even have a nap. They kind of went over the match and then did it in the ring, and he was exhausted. And you could tell that he wasn't up to his normal AJ, but he was still good. What did you think about the match, champ?
I liked it. I didn't see that he was exhausted. I still think that I'm sure he was, though, now that you mention all that, because I did watch Raw Talk. But what I saw is, he never got the Styles Clash, never got an attempt. I just saw groundwork for a program down the road. and you're going to see, that match and even better in the future, I think.
Sure, whatever. I don't believe that at all.
You don't think so?
I thought so after the match ended. Then Raw happened.
Oh, and they killed. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Z, what did you think about that match?
Exactly what Joe just said. Like, I think it was a good match. I didn't expect it to be, like a 10 out of 10 match, strictly for the reason Joe just mentioned. It's got to lay groundwork for a feud in the future. So,
plus AJ's literally a sub.
Right, yeah. So that's how you knew Finn was going.
He's a
over
last minute
regardless.
replacement. You have no build, and so he had to travel with no rest. So for what they had to work with,
demon, so he wasn't losing.
For what they had to work with literally zero build, I thought they absolutely made the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with Joe on everything.
Orlando.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought, like you said, it was match of the night. I thought it would have been better, though. Still, I guess just Finn Balor in general to me is just very missed for me. Like I don't give a fuck what he does, and I want to. Like, you know what I mean? I want to care, but I don't fucking care.
A friend of mine has that same opinion.
Did you, when it was announced that it was AJ, did you get any sort of
Well, no, because
excitement for the
I
match?
don't get excited by that stuff, but
You can't be a mark anymore.
no, I don't get excited. I thought the pay-per-view was now more interesting. The same thing with Angle instead of, I thought they made what was beforehand a pay-per-view that looked like dog shit.
A single match card.
Right, into something that's going to be interesting.
Make a chicken salad out of chicken shit.
So I liked their match, but I just don't think Balor's as good as people think. I just, it's not that he's bad, I just don't think he delivers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he ever lives up to anything.
I think his style just doesn't mesh with that WWE style very well.
Yeah, but he was in there with AJ. And I mean, like, again, the match was good. Let's not say the match wasn't good. It was a good match. It just wasn't, as good as you would think it would be with those two.
Did you say amazing?
I thought the match was amazing.
Like, okay, on the 5-star Meltzer scale, what would you have given it?
I'll give it a 4 at least.
I don't see how that's amazing. I think that's really good, personally.
I think 5 stars is amazing. 4 is really good. 3
6 is phenomenal.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Callie, what did you think of it? Did you finally watch it, by the way?
Bits and pieces. So
Of the match or the card?
the whole,
Show.
The whole show?
yeah.
Man.
Well, here's my thing about this. When it got announced that it was going to be Finn versus AJ, instead of going, holy fuck, that's awesome, I went, what the fuck? Why do we have a SmackDown on Raw? Out of all the people, really? That's who you
don't know the
choose?
history then.
That's because they wanted to pull more people into their seats because they're not getting money for their fucking pay-per-views like they should be.
Have anybody with
So.
that?
Yeah,
Outbreak.
and I think
care, but-
they advertised what they did, which was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. And, you always want to deliver what you advertise, and if you can't, due to circumstances out of your control, I think with your alternative, you got to over-deliver.
Yeah, hence you got Angle and AJ.
Right. So, I mean, they really
Thought Angle was
pulled out
stupid.
the big guns to compensate for what, they advertised and
And I
couldn't
think
come
they
up with.
fucked
I heard they were
over.
even considering Daniel Bryan for a spot.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there was I heard there was a conversation that it was either Daniel Bryan or Kurt Angle in the main for Roman Reigns, and that's why Daniel Bryan has been so active on social media, Twitter, with everything post. Now, what did you say? That you hated the Angle situation, Callie?
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
Why?
Why waste that now? When you could have used that for you could have chosen a better build-up to bring
I
back
agree with that
Kurt
part
Angle.
with-
I think
with
that
Angle.
was, they shit the fucking bed and they fucked themselves over with that.
I don't think they have.
Because you're never
are
going
you
to get
talking
any
about-
sort of excitement.
Are you talking about
Now, when he
Angle
comes back, yeah,
or them
sorry.
mixing the brands?
Angle.
Angle, yeah, that's
You
not
shit the
how
bed.
that's not how I wanted to see
That
Angle
was
make
not
his
excitement.
return. I don't want to see him in the fucking Shield gear. That's
Smiling,
lose
so
interest.
happy, by the way. So happy to be
Ralph Wiggum. He's like Ralph Wiggum, like literally coming down that ramp.
Hi. So okay,
I eat my own burgers.
Callie. Now, what would you have preferred? Because you're telling me you hated it, and that's fine. But I'm assuming if you hated it, that means you have to have some sort of alternative.
I didn't hate it. It's just
You think it was stupid. So what would they have been able to do that wasn't stupid?
just not have had the fucking pay-per-view.
That's not gonna. I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's more stupid than what you just said was stupid.
The show must go on.
Yeah, I mean they've gone on with a pay-per-view after
Yeah,
a wrestler
I know,
died
but,
right at the
like-
beginning of it. So
Yeah.
They've gone on with a pay-per-view right when a wrestler died in the middle of it.
yeah.
No, I understand that.
Weren't they on TV a day or two after 9/11 when none of the other
Yep.
Yes,
football,
they were
base-
the only thing. on
football,
TV.
baseball,
only
basketball, and hockey was all shut down?
SmackDown was the only
Vince
thing.
had his crew on TV
and
in
they went
an
live,
arena.
And at that point, they went live for SmackDown.
They once
that
did a
night.
live show in an empty arena at the halftime at Super Bowl.
I remember that.
But it was good.
That was. But I'm with Callie on the angle point. I mean, I don't know if I have a better suggestion because I
don't-
get it. They were backed into a wall, but that is a waste to see Angle return like that. I get it why they did it. It all makes sense in terms of having a guy of equal caliber. It just seems like they could have made at least another phone call or two and tried to figure something out.
You have
But I don't
so
think
many
they
other
had-
people on their roster, though. Like,
But who
That's
had
the
to
thing,
get
they're
tested for mumps and nobody could work until they were cleared.
I mean, I don't
So
know.
I don't think
How
they
did,
had
like-
any
Maybe
other
put
option.
AJ with the Shield
I
and
would, yeah.
Shinsuke with Balor.
But then you're pulling two superstars from SmackDown from Chile.
well, that's really gonna.
I mean,
piss me
either way, I think they already kind of committed to doing that. So I even then, I still think there's a call. There's somebody. Maybe you could get John Morrison to show up for one fucking night. You could have got somebody.
I just think that you have your Raw roster.
Isn't
that
he under
you-
contract with him?
Yeah, probably.
Let Callie finish her
Whatever.
point.
You aren't utilizing so many of your Raw roster superstars, and I think they fucked themselves up for when they have situations like this when their hands are tied. So then they have to go for the fucking extreme, and it just doesn't. I'm sorry, Kurt
mean,
shouldn't have been part of that,
They could have brought someone up from NXT or two people up from
or
NXT.
anyone else that was on.
They
I mean,
they needed star power, dude.
Yeah, you did need star power
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, it's your main event of a big
Yeah, but you're not
pay-per-view
going
going
to
into
bring
right.
AJ in and
People
have
are not gonna
AJ go
be-
with the Shield and then bring in somebody from NXT to face Balor. It's not the same, but still better than blowing the Angle wad this soon.
I don't think
The Angle.
I don't think they have AJ on the level of Angle and Reigns.
I don't think they do either, nor
And
should they.
That's
to be fair.
and that's why, because so the whole bringing in, the reason I'm okay with it, and I don't think it was stupid. And while yeah, of course, I'm disappointed that was Angle's return, right? But I get why it was, and I understand it because the bottom line is there isn't a single person on the Raw roster that would have made sense storyline wise and made sense to face everything and brought the power that Angle did to
you
that
don't
match.
think Brock Lesnar could bring the power of that?
No fucking
Because
way.
Brock Lesnar, his character is a loner by himself. He's not going to team with anybody.
And plus, I have in the way I feel that the next months up to Mania are going to be booked. It would have made no sense at all.
So it's not like it
then
makes any
Brock
sense
would
having
have belonged
fucking.
to a legendary faction.
Oh, wow.
It was a great meme. No, Brock Lesnar wasn't going to come for that.
I don't know who. Like I said, I don't know if I have a better idea of who I could have put in there, but
Only person I
it
can
just
think-
does seem like that was a waste to bring Angle back to be a part of that.
But the thing is, you could have done it randomly. You could have just had them say they're going to do it, 2-on-1 or 2-on-5, and then have, like, I don't know, Eliza Sampson show up for no fucking reason.
Triple H was filling in for Kevin Owens on the house shows. Maybe he could have done it.
Right.
No, because he was the one running the house shows in the back. You're not going to send the.
That was my next question. Is like, was he in town for this even, or was
Yeah,
that
no,
was,
he
that
was
in Chile?
Yeah, he was in South America with the SmackDown crew. That's why he missed the NXT tapings.
All right.
That one where he was like, "I'm really bummed, I'm missing this."
Yeah.
like he did the tapings when
That was the one that Sean was running, right?
right, Sean and Road Dogg.
Yeah.
So you had Triple H leave. Sean and Road Dogg ran those tapings for NXT, which included, I want to say, the debut of Adam Cole was involved in that. everything leading
Leo
up
Rush's
after that.
debut as
Yeah, I
well.
think the 4 episodes starting with Adam Cole's
awful.
debut were not helmed by Triple H. Look, so for what it was, how did you feel about the match, Orlando?
It was fucking weird. That main event match was weird. Like it wasn't bad. I can't call it bad. It wasn't bad.
I can call it bad.
It dragged on, and there was just a bunch of weird shit that fucking happened. That if that's a TLC match, I'm very confused by everything else that we've been taught by TLC. I don't understand.
TLC always ended in somebody climbing a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, first off, just the rules of the TLC, like you were
There's
just
some type of
mentioning.
implication.
Yeah, you have to. It's still a ladder match. It's just a ladder match that features tables and chairs. This was not. This was just. To me, psychology wise,
It's an Extreme Rules match. Is basically
yes, exactly what it was, and it defeats the purpose of having a ladder. Because now the ladder is literally just a prop to climb off of. In a ladder match, guys do jump off of it, but it makes sense because they're trying to climb it and use it for something else.
Right. It's a necessity.
Right. So in this match, it's like they're literally pulling out a ladder because the pay-per-view is called tables, ladders. And otherwise, there's literally no reason to grab one. Mm-hmm. So just psychology-wise, I was like, well, that makes no fucking sense. Then we had the whole, I'll let you guys talk about it, the garbage thing.
That was murder.
That was tickle butt.
That entire segment is nothing different than what would have happened if Roman was in that. The only thing that I feel was different about that match is Angle went away.
Yeah.
If Roman
So
would have
he
still
could
been
do
there,
his own entrance coming back.
Roman's played that. He's done that same thing in multi-person matches before, where he's taken a 10-minute break and came back.
yeah, but what I'm saying is the Shield weren't going to
like
look
the Royal
weak.
Rumble.
You're not going to make any Roman look weak there. Angle went because Angle was gassed. You know, at the same time, that is now the third time they've pulled this move
I don't
since
know.
Money in the Bank.
I don't know if I believe that he was gassed.
Dude, you could see it. He was. If you look right before he goes to that
power slam?
table, before Braun grabs him, he is like in his face, winded. And I get it because as far as I'm concerned, I don't even think he was in ring shape for it. Yeah, he's in shape, but he's not in ring shape. That's two different shapes.
That's true.
He wrestled earlier this year. It was much earlier, at the beginning
And
of the year.
it was.
But he hasn't wrestled since.
Yeah, dude,
He's
you're
been
talking
in
about
WWE.
not wrestling since March.
You know what?
It's October.
Look, I hate that was his return. I hate that he was in Shield gear, and I hate the stupid look on his face with the Shield gear. But there are some positives I can take from
Ralph
it.
Wiggum.
Yeah, we all watch Raw Talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically all but said that he's got more matches in a WrestleMania match, on the books. So that gives me some solace. And also, he didn't do a lot in that match.
No, he didn't. He was very protected that whole match.
Yeah, but as far as protected, he also didn't nearly bust out 1/10 of what he could if he was in ring shape.
Right.
So they kind of maybe he wasn't in ring shape, but I
They
think
limited him,
he
too.
was also kind of sandbagging. I don't think he wanted to give away the goods yet until he makes.
I don't think he was sandbagging.
I don't know. I think when Kurt Angle makes the comeback in a singles match with his music and not the Shield music in the red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
and he's had time to prepare for it, you're going to see an entirely different Kurt Angle than what you saw.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
And that's what makes me. That's
One
that's like a positive I can take from that, because I was like, man, I saw him come out in the Shield gear. I was watching with my girlfriend immediately. I was like, this is dumb.
But they
Dumb.
announced right in the beginning he was coming out in the Shield gear. They gave him the flak
Yeah, it's like
jacket.
tonight you're an honorary member.
I didn't even see. Was that in the?
Yeah, and no, it
That's
wasn't the
the backstage
pre-show.
promo.
It was during the TLC.
Well, if I saw it then, I would have said it was dumb then too.
It was right after the Bliss match.
Fucking.
Oh, I fast forward.
I was dumb. I didn't like it. But then again, I can kind of. Maybe you don't want to have him come out in the red, white, and blue.
No, yeah.
Showing maybe he's not in quite good enough shape yet.
No, because he didn't have the vest on when he came back.
he wore black.
It
He
was
just had
just his Under
Under
Armour
Armour.
shirt, which was a muscle shirt. So what, Callie?
I'm wishing. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think when he comes back for a singles match, I don't think he's going to be that good. So
I think you're gonna be.
I think you're gonna be very
You're gonna be
surprised.
amazed. People said the same thing about Shawn Michaels when he came back.
Kurt Angle's a fucking machine.
Kurt, look,
yeah, but he's also okay.
go ahead.
Just
I don't necessarily disagree with her.
Thank you.
If you saw the end of his TNA run, he wasn't the same Kurt. He could barely bend his fucking knees. And it's not that he wasn't capable of having a good match, he was. But it wasn't the same Kurt that could fucking go. You know what I mean? It wasn't him.
Well,
after
yeah.
breaking things so many times, like things don't work the same as they do when you get.
And you can even
older.
tell now he's like his posture isn't great. His knees are constantly bent. His head's a little bit.
Have I told you guys the story about my friend that was on a show with him?
No.
So backstage all day, he looks like this old, withered man. Like can barely stand up. Like just looks like he needs help around. It looks like he needs a walker. Next thing you know, he's working with Cody, right? So next thing you know, his music hits. He like pops up and comes to life, starts hopping around all day. Everyone's like, "Dude, Kurt Angle looks fucked up." Then music comes up, dude, and he's like alive again.
It's like a puppet.
So the adrenaline
Mickey
rush
James said
works.
the same thing about him when she was in TNA with him. She said he did the same thing there.
Wasn't he all fucked up though? Wasn't he on a bunch of shit?
When he was working with Cody, no,
painkillers.
he's been clean.
You've been clean
No,
for the last 4
but I'm
years.
saying back in TNA.
No, she wasn't
he, like,
referring
on
to him
pill?
being out of it. She was referring to him being in fucking pain, like not
Yeah,
being
no,
able
I
to
mean,
move.
He's been clean for 4.5 years.
Yeah.
So some of that, his last couple years in TNA, he was 100% clean.
Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, but I recall in TNA his last year or two, when I would tune in, like he could barely bend his knees. It looked like his knees didn't bend. You know what I mean? Like he moved weird. He couldn't. He was very. He wasn't bad by any means. Like a lot of old guys, when they get to that age, they can't do shit.
Right.
He could still go, but it wasn't the same.
He wasn't the same
It
5-star
wasn't
Kurt Angle.
right. It wasn't the same level. You know what I mean? That he was at before.
Even when you try to get
DDP
Sheamus up.
yoga, and he'll be fine.
Even when you try to get Sheamus up, dude. Like you could tell, like he was struggling with Sheamus. You know, Sheamus didn't really give the jump, so that was a lot of Kurt's power. Cesaro jumped into the table. You know, you could tell. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I agree. I'm not expecting Kurt to come back and be old school Kurt
1999
Angle.
Kurt.
Not even. I'm not even expecting him to come back and be 2007 Kurt Angle.
In Kurt's defense, even he didn't know he was going to have this match until.
No,
a couple
yeah,
days
and I'm
before.
not, and I'm not knocking anything that he did
'Cause look at-
I don't think he was bad.
Let's
Everyone
look
else
at, like,
is saying he was.
Triple H. He's only like
I
a
don't think
year
he's
or
bad.
two younger than Kurt, and like he wrestles at Mania or a couple house shows or a match or two here and there.
But Triple H is always
1 to
in
3
training.
right? But when he knows he's got that big WrestleMania, that motherfucker trains like a maniac
Yeah.
for months in preparation of that match. If you gave Kurt a chance to do that, you're going to see a night and day difference. I'm telling you, from what you saw.
Oh, I'm not arguing that at all. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be the brightest day. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be 100% clear sky, sunny, 85-degree, beautiful day. I think it's going to be a partly cloudy, 75-degree day in the summer. You know,
A 75-degree day from Kurt Angle is still better than most of the roster.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and
that's still a
that's
good
my
jump.
point. Is it's still going to be good.
That's cool.
But is it going to be the Kurt that we're expecting?
I think JR
I
called
still
it.
think it's gonna make Kaylee like change her mind about not,
Sure.
Yeah.
not
Like I
being-
said, I hope so. But
I think
we'll
JR
see.
called his last match in What Culture before coming back to WWE for the Hall of Fame and all that.
possible.
And JR, I mean, he called it. He was there. I mean, he put that match over like $1 million and said Kurt Angle's like, look, dude, this motherfucker can still go. Like,
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason why anyone can't use him right now, you know?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that at all.
And if JR says it, I'm tending to believe what JR says on most things. Very rarely do I disagree with the guy.
All right, up next. Is anybody surprised by the way Enzo won that match?
Nope.
Everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, because based on my unscheduled appearance picks, I thought he was going to have some guys do some run-ins, but he
Yeah,
just
same.
did the cheating on his own, I guess, you know.
I wasn't surprised, but I wasn't surprised. It's just how he won. It was either going to be he's going to do it, won it the same way he won it the last time with some type of cheap tactic, or he would have had a run in. But I figured the run in because that was what was fresh on my mind from Raw before.
Let me rephrase what I said. Was anyone surprised by the Enzo match? Not the way he won
I
it.
didn't really watch it.
Because I was surprised at the fact that there was a lot more wrestling from Enzo
Yes.
than selling. He wasn't just getting his ass beat and then won. He was putting on a match and then used the heel tack like a normal heel did.
Yeah, and his wrestling was pretty decent. in
Yeah,
that
it
match.
was-
That surprised me when I was like, oh, hey, they're making a match of this.
Yeah. Surprised the shit out of me.
It was just like that in the 205 rematch.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, and I thought the same thing. I thought he looked a little better in the ring than normal, but I think that's the one benefit of working with the 205 guys is most of them are good in-ring mechanics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think working with those guys, he's gonna get better. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see how you couldn't. Just my opinion on that. I don't see how you couldn't. Kalisto's a good in-ring worker, whether people realize that or not. He is.
Oh no,
No, yeah.
he's great.
It's just you know, you can say what you want about his character and this or that.
He's
just
5'3" with no personality.
Yes.
you know?
So
But yeah, he can work his
so
ass
it's like,
off.
and that's Enzo to me is a perfect fit for the 205 because they need to learn from him as much as he needs to learn from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got character and promo skills, and they don't.
And Drew Gulak's getting better with his.
And they all can fucking work, but are vanilla as shit.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a perfect marriage for him to be working with those guys,
Agreed.
and he should be carrying that division. That's what he should be. If Neville's not there, that's your guy.
And I guess like the final thing I really want to talk about for TLC was the Asuka debut. A lot of people disappointed. A lot of people saying that it should have been a little bit more dominant of a performance for Asuka, the way they have built her up.
If that was the case, then it shouldn't have been Emma.
I agree.
100.
Smitty.
I'm 100% with that because like Emma, like
I have no
even though-
problem with the match.
with the whole thing with her character. Talking about I started the women's revolution. Technically, if you want to talk about when women first start getting a shot in the ring, when people start paying attention, it was Paige and Emma.
Yeah, but do you remember Emma's fucking stupid ass character when she first came up?
Yeah, no, like as I said,
So good.
I like that.
No,
though. That was actually, that made me smile.
That is more that is more creative shitting on the talent that was Emma.
All right, no, but
and yeah, you know that wasn't her idea, but she ran with it and did the best she could with it.
I was pleasantly surprised.
They
With
put
the
him with
fact,
fucking
I thought,
Santino.
like everybody else said, it was going to be another Asuka like squash match.
But if you know, Asuka hasn't been squashing people like even her last few
But
matches.
she's
in
always
NXT.
she's always looked dominant. You always knew from start to finish
Like
she was going to win.
She even pulled a couple cheap tactics to beat Ember Moon. You know?
Yeah, Ember Moon is the only time that she
really
didn't
faced a challenge.
Yeah, and that's why when she left, Ember walked up and they hugged. You know, because it was as far as NXT was built, her best rivalry in there.
But as far as having them have a go of a match, I enjoyed it because not only, did Asuka get to maintain her undefeated streak, but it also made Emma look really good while losing.
I was one of those people that annoyed.
Yeah,
Yeah, it annoyed me. Just because Emma's jobbed out so hard to all the regular Raw talent.
Yeah, I don't agree with that though. She shouldn't be.
No, she shouldn't be. I like Emma a lot, and I think she deserves an opportunity.
I'm kind of sick of her getting jobbed out like that.
I am too. And I think Emma's one of those people that deserves a chance, but I don't think this is the time that you give her one with Asuka.
Well, that's
making
what I'm
her
saying.
debut.
They should have not had that. If they wanted fucking Asuka to crush someone, it should not have been against Emma.
Asuka shouldn't have crushed anybody.
Fox.
So here's the thing.
She could've-
And guys,
Dana Brooke.
I'm agreeing with Orlando, 100%. What he was just saying. She should have had a little bit more dominant of a performance, right? I don't hate the match. I don't think it sucked. I don't think it was bad. What upset me was the Raw match, and we'll get into that later, and I'll tell you why then. But as far as this match was, I liked how Emma looked. I liked how Asuka looked. I wish Asuka looked a little bit more strong at the end of the match, kind of. You know, she didn't have to squash. I never would have expected a squash at all in any way, shape, or form because there's no reason she
I
should
didn't
have squashed
expect it to
Emma.
be as competitive, though.
Yeah.
Like, again, I didn't expect it to be a squash either. Squash means, you're basically not getting anything and you're getting killed. I didn't expect that, but I expected, like you were saying, Asuka to look stronger and to look more dominant. It needed to be, at least 60-40 instead of 50-50.
It's kind of been their trend lately, though. They
I
did
know.
the same thing with Ziggler and Nakamura.
I know. It's nonsense. And I think that little thing like that, though, matters. I think it's one of the reasons why Nakamura has struggled because they didn't. They
Dude,
had him.
they are fucking
I have a
that guy up.
question for you guys then. Is that
Golden Shuffle.
is that on creative or is that on the wrestlers? Are
it's
they
on
just
creative.
are they just told to go put on a match and they do? Or is it creative
I
saying,
think
okay, you do
Nakamura
this
also
and-
has another disadvantage with the language barrier.
I agree with that.
And I think he's kind of walking around on eggshells, not knowing what he can do and what level he can bring in the
then
ring.
just do it and see what happens.
I think that's a creative problem with him.
But as far as like the Emma Asuka thing,
Yeah, so I
like-
want to ask. So Orlando, will you take that question because obviously there's different.
Well, I think I really don't know. Like, and I always wonder how much input because each agent is different. So let's say you have Dean Malenko on your match.
Right.
I don't know how much input he really has on your match other than, hey, this is your finish, here's your bullet points, blah, blah. You might have an agent that's like, okay, what's your whole match? No, change this, change that.
Which I've heard P.S. Hayes is.
Right, so it all really depends on who their agent is and what they're being told. And it also is creative, too, because maybe creative wanted it to be competitive. I don't know the inner workings of how they put it together, but I know from just a basic logic sense that Asuka should have looked stronger there.
I thought P.S. Hayes is more of a booker than an agent.
No, he's been an agent for a couple matches, like larger ones.
I don't know who's an agent and who isn't anymore, but I know Malenko and I think Kidman and a few others are. But either way, I just feel like
I think Adam Pearce is.
I feel like whoever's there, they missed the boat in making Asuka look strong there. They made her look good. She didn't look bad. No one's gonna be like, oh, she. But it wasn't like if you built up Asuka to be this killing machine, and Emma, who has struggled to beat regular Raw talent, then can go in and compete with her. I just feel like you're not making Asuka look strong there. You're just making her look like another woman wrestler.
I'm just gonna get into it right now. I agree. It shouldn't have been 50-50. Definitely should have been 60-40, especially a little bit towards the end. It shouldn't have looked like she lucked into a win. You know what I'm saying? Which that's like my only beef with it. However, when she comes out on Raw and she gets the rematch and we see we see TLC 2.0, and the only thing that are being said by the commentators are that, oh, Asuka learns. The minute Asuka knows stuff, she turns it around and she could swap it. There is no reason it should have been another 50-50 match on Raw at all, in any way, shape, or form.
That's where commentaries fuck up.
They're not saying anything that they're not being told to say.
No, but once again, that means it goes back to creative.
I almost disagree with that too, because there was a lot of times where Booker T sounded lost.
Dude, Booker T
was great.
Wait, what did he
so
say
bad. He's
at the
so bad.
pay-per-view?
He's good. That's Booker T.
What did he say at the pay-per-view? Because he said something fucking crazy at the pay-per-view.
He says a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, I know. This one was
To the
like,
point where Michael Cole actually called him out. Like, I don't know what world you're living in.
Oh, dude,
Booker.
Graves calls him out all the time. It's fucking
Booker
hilarious.
got pissed on Raw because he got called old. He goes, Booker, your podcast is on an 8-track, and Booker's stepping out of line now. But so yeah, moving into Raw. Right off the bat, Kurt comes out, starts talking about Survivor Series, how he's going to make all these announcements. Miz comes out, cuts him off, and Kurt says that he has a match against, the Shield come down as well to help out Kurt because they, surround Kurt. Kurt says there's a match right now, the Shield versus Miz, Miz Bar, and their Shield partner who is from SmackDown another day, AJ Styles. So AJ Styles come out, and they get the win over Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. After a great match, Kane comes out and levels those three.
Made no fucking sense.
Then after that, Kane says he came out, the reason all the stuff with the TLC match, the why it went all stupid, was because he was told that Braun was this monster, and when he looked at him, he was not impressed at all. And he wanted competition now, or else, taking the Braun line. To which Finn Balor came out and just got absolutely squashed. 3 choke slams later, and Kane took the pin. Asuka then came out again for Emma for a rematch, and like we just talked about, another 50-50 match. Mickie James came out and confronted Alexa Bliss after Alexa was already in the ring talking about all the stuff, and then hit her again. Brock comes out and accepted the WWE Champion Jinder Mahal's challenge after Kurt already accepted it in the opening segment of the show. Because what Kurt had said is it's going to be champion versus champion, Brock versus Jinder, Usos versus Dean and Seth, Natty versus Alexa, Miz versus Corbin.
That's a creative booking problem there.
My God.
And Michael Cole made the comment of how these matches aren't set in stone. And the reason they're not is because these champions might not be champions come Survivor Series in 4 weeks. So there was
foreshadowing.
Yeah. So yeah, then Paul cuts a promo ripping into Jinder, but saying they accept Jinder's challenge even though it had already been accepted for them. Three-way match: Alicia Fox versus Bayley and Sasha Banks to see who was going to captain the Raw Women's team at Survivor Series. And Alicia Fox did it. She won. She is the captain. Look at her. She is the captain now. Kalisto, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, and Mustafa Ali and Grand Metalik defeated the Zo Train, which was Enzo, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, Noam Dar, and Arya Davari. And then Kurt comes out at the end to announce his 5 for the Survivor Series team. And when he says, here's my first guy, Shane McMahon's music hits. Kurt's obviously looking stunned. Shane is shown up in the stands like he was a member of the Shield now. Like, look at him. He's the Shield now.
Not as happy as Kurt, though.
No, not anywhere near as happy as Kurt. And then he brought he brought a strong majority of the SmackDown Live crew down to the ring. Kurt left the ring. When Kurt got to the stage, Shane sicked the crew on the Raw, on everyone, and they went in the back and they destroyed everyone. They destroyed everyone. 100% hashtag under siege. In the Twitter speak, as Shane said, Chad Gable went and attacked Jason Jordan right out of nowhere. It was great.
That was actually kind of cool.
The girls came out from behind and attacked the other women, knocking them down. And the only ones on the Raw roster to get any type of offense in on the SmackDown team were Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
The sneak attack, though.
It doesn't matter. They did a Shield. That's exactly what the Shield do. They wait, they lie in wait, and then they take you out. It was a move. So let's just kick off with obviously the greatest. Oh no, I'm sorry, I missed something. Jason Jordan beat Elias because disqualification because Elias broke Jason Jordan's arm with a guitar.
Yeah, that looked.
That didn't look. It was. There's no reason you should bruise up that much in 2 seconds.
He had a hell of a mark on him, like immediately. Like, whoa.
So let's talk about hashtag under siege. Callie, lead it off. Right now, Callie is the most angry person in the world.
No, not angry. I just really don't give a fuck about Mickie James. Sorry, that's the only thing I really.
But that's what I meant. Under siege.
We're talking about the raid.
I know. Well, I don't. The raid. Cool. The raid happened. Cool. Sets up for Survivor Series. All right.
Z. Let's get some analysis.
I don't know what you want from me.
Honestly, the Under Siege thing was probably the best thing that happened on Raw.
It was.
It was.
Outside of the opening match.
Yeah.
What was the opening match again?
AJ and the
AJ
Shield.
and the Shield.
Until Kane came out, that
but
was
my point
amazing.
is, I don't remember that, but I do remember the invasion.
Yeah.
It was kind of clever, actually.
No, it was. It's a good setup. Now you're waiting for the retaliation on SmackDown. And they just ran through like everybody, even though
Everybody did.
they went through like maybe seven people. There was like 2 people, 3 people.
Cruz, Titus Young. They went
Titus
to
O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil,
Matt
Hardy, Gallows and Anderson, Chad Gable.
Wasn't Elias
Jason Jordan.
Wasn't Elias with Gallows and Anderson back there?
Maybe
No.
I
Matt
know
Hardy.
Matt Hardy.
They left
Matt Hardy.
Axel
No,
in a
I
bloody
think.
mess.
I think. Yeah, I saw. I think it was Matt Hardy
Axel.
and Elias.
So there was like 12 people.
Yeah,
Total.
then the 4 women that the 4 ladies took out, and then of course Dean and Seth.
Well, yeah, and then Natalia grabbed Ryder's crotch and all.
Yeah, that was great.
That was weird.
That was a weird heart on that he had.
I missed
Woo, woo, woo.
No, I mean,
You
yeah,
blow it.
it was good.
Come on, she's a married woman.
I enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
I mean, just because I'm going to leave here in a minute.
That's why I'm getting
I'm going to dip into SmackDown real quick. I was actually happy that Raw didn't retaliate this week on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made no sense.
Building
for them
it,
to
well,
attack right away.
but WWE has a lot of
Catch 'em
things
when they least
do that don't
expect
make
it,
any
you know?
goddamn sense. So
Yeah. All right. Smitty, how did you feel about it?
I would agree with Z. It was the only reason I really cared about much on Raw. To say the opening match was great, but it was like Kane. The whole Kane thing killed that, and after that, everything was just kind of eh. Shane McMahon's backstage segment, I kind of felt that was coming. I was like, oh, the backstage segment when he met up with Kurt. I'm like, SmackDown's rating. Because when he said, I can see it right now, hashtag under siege, I'm like, oh, SmackDown's rating.
Good foreshadowing, as we
Yeah.
said. Joe.
I liked the execution of the beatdown, like the actual physicality of it and the way they did it, going room to room, beating up a few people at a time. I liked the viciousness of it. It looked believable. I just like some of the psychology behind it. Like,
Yes.
Okay, like why the fuck does Baron Corbin give a fuck what color shirt he's wearing? You know,
Yep.
why are all these guys just rah 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 for the company when? You know, if I wouldn't give a fuck about SmackDown. I'm giving a fuck about winning my fucking match and making fucking money. Fuck SmackDown, fuck Raw. Whether I'm a heel or a face, like I don't care about a fucking team.
That
and then
makes
like
no sense at all, except for Baron Corbin. Here's why.
I don't know. A lot of heels should have that attitude. Why should any heel be a team player unless he's on a tag team, or unless he's working with
He's got
another
a point.
heel to fucking
Really good point.
for
Make
a common
money
goal
and get championship.
Okay,
He's got a point.
another thing.
Okay, so wait, let me rebut that.
and
Let me
why-
rebut that. Because you made a point, so I'll rebut that.
All right.
Baron Corbin, I get. Baron Corbin's whole gimmick is lone fucking wolf. There's no reason he should have been there. However, for everyone else on that roster, you want your roster to be the dominant brand. Because if your roster is the dominant brand, then you're allegedly getting more views. You're allegedly getting larger subscription for your pay-per-view buys. You're allegedly, according
You're
to
gonna
all
make
this,
more money,
you're getting more viewers. More butts and seats means more money. And if you're showing that you're the dominant brand and your gimmick is not a lone person, there's no reason why what you said wouldn't happen. Anyway, just by your brand going through.
I can see that for your faces, but your heels should have bad attitudes and only care about themselves.
What about Natalia? Like
And
Natalia,
as long as they're making their own money, they are not caring who else on their show is making money and getting views.
Well, let me ask
as
you a
long as
question
their
then.
view, their segment's getting over, that's all they care about.
As a heel, don't you want to be the best? Isn't the whole point you're running
No.
through? You don't?
No, the idea of being the heel is being the most successful with maybe not necessarily being the best, making the most money with doing the least.
I think both of you guys, it's dependent on that particular heel. I think both of you guys have valid points there. I think you would want to be a part of the better brand because it would make you look better. I think Joe is right that not all the heels should necessarily care about the team. But I think it's individual. I don't think it's a blanket statement that can be applied to a whole roster of guys. I think it needs to be applied individually. Okay, this guy would, this guy wouldn't.
Like, did you notice Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Brock Lesnar were not there? Because they surely don't give a fuck about the team.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's...
And then there was more plot holes than that.
I wasn't done. When why did Chad Gable attack Jason Jordan? I mean, they're boys. Just because
No, they're not. Jordan left him fucking high and dry.
Jordan got
man.
drafted, dude.
When
He
it
got
happened to the
traded.
Civil War, you had brothers versus brothers.
It was not his choice.
I have a good plot hole.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, the team with the Shield
That's
earlier.
what I was just about to say. Like,
Why the fuck is he all of a sudden Team Blue attacking the guys he just teamed with?
Honorary
Shane
Shield
kind of
member, and then
addressed that on SmackDown.
30 minutes later, he's beating the fuck out of him. You know,
Nonsense.
That's just dumb.
Like, so I'm with Joe. I thought the segment was performed well.
Yeah,
I thought it was the most entertaining segment of the night. But
Just
there's a
people
lot
that
of
belong.
I thought all the people involved did a good job.
right. There was a lot of plot holes that make you go, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Why this guy? Blah blah.
Oh, I totally get the AJ thing. The AJ thing, you're setting up for later. You're like, yeah, totally. Look at me. I'm on your side. And then, boom, I kicked you.
I mean, if you want them to be like that, but I don't think that that's what they were thinking. I think they literally just you're implying
already
that to
here.
try to make sense.
AJ's the face of SmackDown Live.
I don't
Why
think-
wouldn't he be involved in attacking them?
I get that, but if he's buddies with them earlier in the night, you see what I'm saying?
He wasn't buddies. He just got put into a match.
Why would he even get put in that match? Why was he
Shane
there?
McMahon said he could. So that's what he said. Still on loan. That's why there was the comment in the back of the.
I understand that, but that to me always seems like they're fucking editing their shitty booking opposed to making a good booking that makes sense.
Okay, well, had there no mumps happened, would have AJ had been involved in that match?
No.
Okay, so
But he didn't need to be in that match whether there's mumps or not. He was there for Sunday. He had no business being in that match on Monday.
They didn't have to have that match on Monday.
That was nonsense.
what are you talking about? It's set up, Key.
It was nonsense.
They could have done it a different
Did you
way.
notice?
Oh
Like,
my god, I hated that Kane
during that
segment.
whole that gang style beatdown, I don't think Nakamura touched anybody. He just
No, he
kind of
didn't.
like sauntered around the back, like doop doo doo.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
I'm Team Brew.
Like, yeah, like I don't really care about this. This is stupid.
Team Brew, yeah, smack her down right.
Also, I think
Kishasa.
I do want to talk about the fucking Mickey Alexis segment on Raw too.
We'll get on that. So
We didn't really go over their match on the pay per view.
Yeah, there really wasn't.
It was decent.
I thought I liked the match.
It was eh.
It was. I covered highlights.
It happened.
It was better than the main event.
What?
Yeah.
No.
The main event on TLC?
You said the
Put the crack rock
women's-
down,
Alexa
champ.
Bliss and Mickey James was better than.
A garbage truck? Yes. Yes, it was.
Put the crack rock down, champion.
No. It's fucking dumbass tickle butt garbage truck. Fuck that shit. Why does Braun Strowman have to get murdered at every pay-per-view? If it's not a fucking ambulance, it's a fucking garbage truck.
He doesn't really
Get
murdered.
He gets in serious accidents, vehicular accidents.
So that he can prove he's a monster.
I said this pre-show.
Among
It's
men.
gonna be like the
You know what I was waiting for?
He's gonna
He's
go-
a monster.
He's gonna go
Among men.
He's gonna like go over. I said this pre-show before the show. He's gonna like go over a fucking 1,000-foot cliff and with these like 80 special effects and like
Michael
a big
Bay
stupid
explosions.
explosion at the
Okay.
bottom of the cliff, and then he's
So-
gonna be back on Raw the next week. It's fucking
wasn't on Raw
retarded.
this week.
Listen,
He wasn't.
I
in 2 weeks.
honestly thought,
My bad.
as
No, Michael
that
Cole
thing
said-
was going up slowly, that out of nowhere he was just gonna kick right through it and come out of the back. I swear to God, I would not have been surprised. Or he like just stood up and carries the fire or the garbage truck down.
Man, like you have to build Braun back up to be a huge monster, dude. You killed him with Brock Lesnar.
Sweet. So let's crush him with a trash compactor.
He took the chairs. He
That's
got
my
up.
first go-to.
Hey man, Shredder didn't die when they crushed him.
Kevin Nash shot his hand right back to the deck.
Yeah, you guys didn't know Super Shredder was coming.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe Super Braun's coming out of this.
Have you ever seen a Friday the 13th movie? How many bookcases Jason crushed under?
now,
We just
here's the
popped
thing.
right back
You
up.
have-
So Braun Strowman
Kane.
is Jason Voorhees.
All right, slow down one at a time.
You
Yo.
have Kane throw him in the back of a garbage truck and then come on Raw and explain that why he did it. But
I want to
hold
see him
on.
coming out covered in
Hold on.
trash, looking like fucking
finish his
Jigsaw.
point.
But why then did Kane come and attack Roman in the first place?
Roman?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If he came for Braun
I don't
and
know.
he wanted to prove that Braun, he's the only monster on Raw and blah blah blah, then why did he initially?
Well,
attack
what he
Roman?
said was that fact that he came back because he wanted to get a look at Braun. So obviously the best way to get a look at Braun is to team with him. And then by teaming with him, he said that he saw that he was a pile of trash.
Mike, again, you're trying to re-edit their shitty booking.
I'm not
Yeah.
re-editing it. I'm telling you exactly what they
Because
said.
That was Roman.
Yeah, I know they add in these lines to try to make it seem like it makes sense, but it made no fucking sense.
Yeah, but Roman got
My booking
Huh?
from last week makes sense.
Roman got sick, so that really kind of fucked with the whole Kane thing. So I mean, they got to
No.
roll with some punches, and they
I
Figured
called
it
it
out
last
of their
week.
ass.
I figured that tactical vest of his would have protected him from the mumps. No,
obviously not.
I guess not.
But not meningitis.
It wasn't
No, it
meningitis.
You're gonna piss off Mikey with this whole meningitis thing.
No, I don't get. You're not pissing me off. You
So
just
every
keep
time
saying
someone
the
says
same.
meningitis, you're like, it's not meningitis, mumps.
Because that's what it was. Like,
Mikey loves correcting people when they're wrong. So
no, I love
if you-
correcting Smitty when he's wrong.
And I'm the king of rock style.
And boom.
He's a monster among mumps.
Notice Braun Strowman defeated the mumps. I didn't see
No,
Roman
he's a
defeat the mumps.
measle among mums. All right?
He's also the monster among dumps.
He's the shingle.
He's gonna crawl out of one after the garbage truck takes him there.
come out the water look like Jason Voorhees.
Right.
Dude, it's a storyline thing. You can't. You getting mad about anything like that? It's ridiculous to me because you're watching grown men fight in their underwear, and the fucking stuff is the end is known.
Hey, we wanted to make sense. We don't want our grown men fighting anywhere for no reason, Mike.
But what I'm saying is, it's like you're
for
calling
yourself.
it. You're calling it tickle butt stuff, right? That's what you're calling because you don't like it. But it still puts over Braun Strowman as
All
a
right.
bigger fucking badass.
There's so many things that I could show like a non-fan or a non-believer that would like be like they'd be like, oh man, I can see why you watch it now, and then I could show them that, and I would fucking hang my fucking head in shame and be like, all right, rip on me.
You would,
all right.
but other people wouldn't because of what
they should.
Yeah, but there's also it's also wrestling where there's something for everybody. So there are some storylines that are meant for people like you that watch it and people like us that are grown-ups and realize it's not fake. And then there's the hokey shit that you don't like, but that shit is for the kids.
When I
Like,
was a
that's
kid, I still didn't like hokey shit.
I don't want to say.
Well, you are
some stuff.
you don't have that.
You are
kind of
mature
imagination,
among
and I don't
your
know. I always loved it.
obviously
I bought
something
into
wrong
it. I
with
love
you,
that.
so-
Joe,
shit.
how
Like,
old are you?
old.
No, honestly.
I'm not comfortable answering this question.
Why? I'm
He hardly
37.
answers this.
I'm
que-
37.
I'm 38.
Okay, so you're coming across as the really old guy that wants everyone off his fucking lawn until you befriend some Vietnamese kids next door, and now your Gran Torino is amazing.
All right, Mikey.
got a young Negro.
You're reaching now.
No, because it's like
It's
you're
all right, buddy. You got a young Negro friend.
you got a young Negro friend.
You cannot have my car. I'm not giving you my fucking car.
Joe's shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Joe, I got a young Negro friend.
And on the back it says, you still can't have my car.
What if he die?
No.
I think though, Joe. I think honestly though, Joe makes good points. I think I still want wrestling to make sense. I don't think it has to be whatever. It can be hokey or whatever. I don't mind that. I didn't mind when Strowman pushed over the goddamn ambulance. Okay, but at least it made.
What?
Look, man.
I'm just saying, there's hokey moments that I can get behind if it still makes sense. But you can't have these big ass plot holes and then try to fix
Dude,
them.
I'm sorry.
Don't make me sit there and roll my eyes. When I start rolling my eyes, like that's when I'm out. I'm lost. You lost me. You know? When I'm like, oh my god, this is stupid.
But Joe also made a good point too, and I do the shit, and I'm telling you, it's the only thing that you can watch where you at one time you can love it, and literally within the same hour you can be embarrassed that you're watching it.
Very true.
There's no other program that you continuously watch that makes you feel those two ways.
Two guys.
yeah, like if
underwear
you're
fighting over a
watching
belt.
that shit with some chick that doesn't fucking watch wrestling, you're not getting fucking laid. She's gonna think you're the biggest fucking dork, fucking idiot, loser, fucking mama's boy
Your
ever.
statement is false. Your statement is so false.
Let me.
I want no part in this.
No.
You were already in before you showed her your dork side. So don't tell me you were already in.
All right.
You show the fucking dork side after you're in, and then she's like, "Really, dude? Really?"
Then she's just like, it's one of those dorky things about him. I don't know.
And then she goes.
It's what makes them cute.
God, you're such a child.
You're still watching this fucking shit.
No, at that point,
We don't have
wanna
healthy
be fine now.
relationships.
I'm 38, sweetheart.
at that point, that's when you whip out your penis and just say,
I'm kind of done. You're not going to change me. It's not going to be happening.
"I've got DVR. We can do something else right now."
Enough that, man. I got some shit to do. Sorry.
Callie, you had a point?
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for this segment.
That's a first.
We should go out and get one of them pies and open back up. You know.
I think Orlando's far better at that.
Thanks, that was pretty good.
You guys are welcome. That I made really good.
Who
pumpkin
takes
pie.
dicks to the
That's
face
okay.
better, Callie or Orlando?
Orlando, I'm gonna give that to you right now. You're welcome.
I was thinking Smitty, but okay.
No, I give out
He did
dicks.
say just between.
What?
He only said between us. He didn't say between everyone in this fucking room. If everyone's taking a better dig, it's you.
No, I make good pumpkin pie.
That explains.
That explains nothing.
Exactly.
Listen, I don't take dicks. I make
neither
pumpkin
does Braun Strowman going into a fucking garbage truck anymore.
Well,
I don't
him
take dicks.
flipping
I
a
make dicks, you
motherfucking
fucking
ambulance
nerds.
Doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
but okay.
Look at the irony, though. Like, just a couple months ago, he threw Kalisto in the trash.
It's full circle.
What comes around goes around.
But Kane's explanation, we were just calling him a piece of trash. So
Because he
nuts.
took Miz's line from the night before.
It was
You
so
guys
dumb.
see
I agree.
the,
I'm not. Hey, it's dumb.
The guy who made a tribute to the murdered.
I did not
Braun
watch that
Strowman?
video
Oh, it's hilarious.
Okay, so going into Kane's promo to where he squashed Finn Balor.
I wouldn't say it was a squash.
What?
It was competitive for a minute.
That
It
was
was
not
competitive
a
for a
match.
minute, and then Kane just destroyed him at the end with like the 3 choke
Yeah,
slams.
he got him with one, and he could have beat him, but he chokeslammed him 2 more times. Before that, Finn was about to hit the coup de grace, so he was putting up a fight. So it's not a squash match.
He was about to hit the what?
But you know what I mean.
Let's let the
Fuck
professional
off.
wrestler be the judge. Was that a squash match
Coup
or
de
no?
grace.
It was not a squash, but
Thank you.
But it did not make Finn look good.
No, it made him look really bad.
It might as well have been a squash. The way they did it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
We're debating Finn Balor's finishing move name.
Coup de grace.
It's called the coup de grace.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
French.
so when? All right.
He pronounced the P.
now.
That's why I made mention of it. He said coup de grace.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
said
did.
coup de grace.
Yeah, he did.
No, you did. You see,
You said coup.
I'm rarely agreeing with Mikey on this
Chicken
one.
coup de grace.
Yeah, my Buick LaCrosse coupe de grace.
It's French. Like let tits now.
Either way, it
Like
made
tits
Finn look like shit.
I said let tits now. It's
Yeah,
French.
it destroyed 100%. Anything you built with Finn, anything that you saved, when you saved Finn after the Bray Wyatt was taken out, right? You destroyed it with what happened to him on Raw.
Now, does he get to go back to that tickle butt Bray Wyatt thing when Bray Wyatt's done having the mumps?
No, because now it's going to be.
Does that just get
now
washed
it's going
under
to be
the
the
rug?
demon versus the devil's favorite demon.
What the fuck does that do?
I don't.
Nothing. What the fuck has it been doing before?
It makes Finn look bad, and it builds Kane up to lose to Braun.
There is no good coming out of Finn versus Kane.
No, none.
Can I say one of the issues I have just in general with the booking? It's fine if a guy hasn't been on top or whatever, had a decent run in a while, like Kane, where he's mostly just been mid-card for the last 4 years.
Big Show's injured, so they couldn't use him.
It's all fine.
We had hip
It's all fine to build them back up, but the way they do it, like suddenly, when like one night all of a sudden they're really fucking good
Yeah,
again.
they take like one night at just heating a guy like from nothing to the top.
Yeah, but
Right,
you
it's just
said it-
it's nonsense the way that they're doing it. It's okay to build that dude back up, but it has to be like a gradual thing. Kane could show up and slowly had a more of a reason all of a sudden start going through guys.
Because it's not like he's fighting him next week or anything.
But to come back and then just kill fucking Finn, it's just like, well, that makes no fucking sense.
I get it.
dude.
You want Kane to turn into a monster to be beaten by the even bigger monster, so he's got to beat someone
But Kane's character is always
with
been a monster.
notoriety. He's got to beat someone worthwhile. And,
Not corporate Kane.
and Finn's definitely worthwhile. But man, like Orlando just said, this guy's like been in storyline every week. He's wrestling. He's involved in something. So now you're just going to make him look weak?
Yeah, but Orlando also said in this is probably like 8 months ago when we were originally talking about Braun Strowman and
I don't remember that shit.
when he was begging for competition and they would have him do some stuff. Orlando said that it's guys like him where you can turn it down or turn up the fire on him and it's believable because he's as big as he is. Kane's the same thing though.
I agree. I just think you don't do that at the exception of Finn like this, out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It need to be Kane runs through some fucking guys, and then maybe
At
the
his
week
expense.
before, now he fucking runs through Finn. It's like, now take him serious. You just don't do it so
But
sudden.
also I
the way
think
they do it.
think that booking choice also had a lot to do with them not having anybody.
I
else.
agree.
You
we can
had somebody else. What are you talking about? There was you.
Squashed a
Fuck
million
you,
bucks.
Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy got destroyed.
Isn't he?
Matt Hardy got
No,
destroyed
Jeff's
by
hurt.
Braun Strowman a couple weeks ago. Matt Hardy comes back. He's still fucking feeling all out of it. And then Kane destroys him. Therefore, if you somehow get TNA now that they or Impact now that they've completely gotten rid of Global Force Wrestling,
Segue.
if you somehow get that right, you now have the broken Matt gimmick. On top of that,
I don't think that's going to happen. ever.
why? Because it was Global Force that wasn't allowing that. It was the Global Force guys.
No, it was
It wa-
Anthem.
It's
And
Anthem.
Anthem still owns Impact.
Good talk.
No, I'm just saying. I
But
don't
even
think it's ever
so,
gonna happen.
there's no reason it needed to be Finn. You could have put Matt Hardy in that same spot.
There's like anybody else on the roster. That
It just was. It was
Why not
too much
squash
at the
it
expense of
later?
Finn.
Who's upper card guys on Raw?
Or maybe they're going to
besides,
have
like,
Finn go on a
Brock
losing
Lesnar?
streak to make it a surprise when he wins
Dean
the Royal
Ambrose.
Rumble.
What?
Put him through one of the fucking Shield dudes. That's not Roman.
Oh. That
Right.
fucks up the Shield.
He could have had a handicap match against fucking Dean and Seth. You know?
No,
No,
because
because that
it's-
ruins the Shield.
yeah, you're not doing.
And that's
any-
your tag team.
if you're trying to make it,
Yeah, you got a point.
if you're trying to make it a
You gotta
mid
build up
card
for
guy,
Survivor
No, you're
Series.
right.
Roman
you're
went
right.
through each of them.
I retract that.
All right,
Week after
you're right.
week.
guys. It's been fun.
Later, Z.
It's been real.
Yeah.
if
real,
you're
real gay.
if you're trying to build up Kane, and you need a mid card guy, I understand not using Finn Balor. I also know that you can't do a Shield guy. You can't do any
I think he could
face.
have done the Shield guys, especially because Braun went through them just in the last month.
Yeah, but it was like in
singles,
not in the handicap.
And then all of a sudden,
Yeah, you could have had Kane do the same thing as Braun, fight him 1-on-1 in 2 weeks in a row.
Or Jason Jordan.
Like, bitch, you did it. I can do it
But
too.
you had them destroyed before they reunited and became the Shield. They're not going to have them
Yeah.
lose now.
yeah.
Well, Roman's not there. So it doesn't
Jason
matter.
Jordan.
No, but
It could've been
Roman's
Jason
the
Jordan.
strong one out of the three.
But they're not. They're not trying to. They're saying that Ambrose and Rollins united fully as the Shield are unbeatable.
I don't get the difference there. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's all the things that don't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that. But either way, it shouldn't have been Finn. Unanimously, we can debate who it should have been,
Right.
but we can all agree that it did not. And again, I'm not even a Finn fan, but it did not make sense to kill Finn there.
So, does this, Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Demon
disappear.
thing, is this just one of those things that just kind of gets swept under the rug like it never happened?
I
That'd
hope
be
so.
great.
Because that's probably what they should do.
That'd be the better
Just,
thing to do.
rewrite their own history like they do so often anyway.
Yeah.
This never
Abigail
happened.
never came to
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, you were never Sister Abigail.
I don't think anybody.
That was a
was.
bad idea.
I don't think
They
anybody
could have done
was,
so
though,
much
dude.
better.
I don't know, man.
With the makeup.
Wrestling's the shits, bro. I don't know how to say it nicer. Wrestling's garbage, man. We
All of
watch
it?
it just.
Like right now,
I would say WWE is really hard to get through. Like
which
we
is
get through
fucked
it
up
before the
because
podcast, but
roster-wise, if you're looking at their roster on paper, like, okay, take us as fans in the earlier 2000s or 90s, or no, earlier to mid 2000s, let's say, the fans that we are and were back then, and you put a lot of this roster together with, we'd be like, dude, wrestling's gonna be great, and like,
Yeah, you would.
it doesn't translate,
You would. We would.
You
But you know who's not? The major audience who doesn't watch other stuff. Again, there's a reason that nobody.
I'm going to disagree with you there.
How are you going to? We just had a conversation 2 weeks ago that the Shield and Roman Reigns are more over than the Bullet Club because of the WWE machine behind them. We all said that. Well, I didn't say that. Everyone else said that. So by that stretch,
I actually agree with you on that.
by that stretch,
well, you're wrong, but
that means that what you're talking about is, again, until they come to the WWE to be in the WWE machine, they are not as popular as they are with them. Therefore, they're only popular to the current major wrestling marks, to the people that watch everything. But they're not over with the entire wrestling watching
I don't
world.
put that all on the wrestlers, dude. A lot of these wrestlers are not being used to their full potential.
I agree. But again,
if these guys were used correctly, if they weren't stifled,
Almost everybody on that roster will be a star.
you know what I'm saying? These guys
Absolute
have the
stud.
talent, they have the know-how, they have the experience. They could make these shows
Okay.
fucking great.
here we go.
They have the talent to do so. They're just
Here. So
it's overproduced garbage, dude.
LeBron
It's
James left.
overproduced corporate garbage.
LeBron James left Cleveland for Miami, right?
I don't watch basketball.
Okay, but it's still the biggest fucking.
I do.
It was still huge. LeBron James left Cleveland for Miami. Okay, it was him, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Okay, all stars where they came from, except Wade, who was already in Miami.
I already know what you're going with, and they couldn't win.
He already had a
No,
championship in there, too.
he did win. They did win. They
They lost
But
the first year, and then they won the next three.
didn't win
that's
three,
not what I'm
but
talking
two.
about. That's nothing what I'm talking about. My point is, when they went there, who was the star? When all three of them were on the Heat, who was the star?
LeBron?
LeBron was the main star.
There you
had
go.
this-
So you're bringing all of these guys from the Indies that are huge stars where they are onto one team.
Well, who's the huge WWE product star?
John Cena was. At the
But
time.
he's winding down. So who is it now? Because it sure as
Reigns.
fuck ain't Roman Reigns.
Yes,
They
it is.
want it to be, but he's not there yet.
It is.
it?
Roman is
I don't
is
give a
over.
flying
that's
fuck
that's the guy.
about
That's the,
Roman.
that's the guy.
I know
that's the guy
we
that the
don't.
machine pushes down your
but
throat.
hold on, and I agree. I don't think that he necessarily should be. But I was interested in seeing merch sales after we got into that debate, and Roman Reigns is outside of Cena outsells everybody.
Yes, it's a New Day.
Why?
Yeah.
New Day's top 5 though, which I was surprised about. But Roman Reigns outsells everybody except for John Cena. So you can say what you want. He is their guy. Yeah, he's their made guy. He's their company guy.
He's their manufactured guy.
Right, but he is their fucking star.
And manufacturer or not, he's good, man. He really is.
He's good, but he's not great.
He needs promo work, but so does fucking Finn. Finn is not amazing on the mic.
You know how many guys on the roster are good but not great?
Everybody.
Yeah, and they just picked Roman.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So do you think if AJ made it to WWE before they picked Roman, do you think Roman will be as big of a star as he is?
Yes.
Yeah.
AJ's not going to be their guy. AJ is, especially at this point in his career.
AJ's the guy to put over their guys.
He's Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels came back. So Michaels was still a top guy. He's going to be putting your main event programs here and there.
He's going to be working awesome matches.
Right, but he's not the guy. Okay, and that's still a good spot to be in. Let's not deny that.
Oh, he'll make a comfortable living doing that.
But I'm just saying, Roman Reigns is your top star. But I'm with Joe. I think the product is really crappy. It's not all on the workers. I think the in-ring work is pretty good for the most part.
This is the most talented roster they've had in years.
Sure, maybe. Either way, I think they're good. I just think it's boring and it's predictable and it makes no sense.
It's formulaic.
It's like I said, my brother watched it, and my brother used to be a big wrestling fan. He watched it and was like, "I can't watch this shit. It's garbage."
It's
and
overproduced.
it is. And it's like we're kind of tuned into it, and we stick through it, whether it's good or bad. We're just like, "Oh, that was crap. Whatever. I'll keep watching." Most people don't. Most people watch that and they go, "This is shit. I'm not what happened to wrestling. I'm changing this."
Yeah, I mean, let's put it into perspective. Okay, you got a 3-hour Raw, half hour of it, an hour of it's good, right? The rest of it's shit. Are you going to watch like a 2 or 3 hour movie if only a half an hour of it is good?
Right. Well,
Yes, you paid your money.
Well, about that.
I mean, okay,
What'd you watch?
on a regular basis, knowing that that's what it could be, are you going to do that?
You do. Even if without this show, you do. You may fast forward through a lot of it, but you still watch it.
No,
you
I'm
still
saying-
give them their ratings.
A movie?
No, I'm talking.
about wrestling.
You're making the point to wrestling.
No, I'm trying to say
you just fast forwarded way more than you do now.
What other form of entertainment would you subject yourself to, like, half or even more that's not good to
The NFL.
half or less is bad? I don't. See, I stopped doing that.
I think the only thing you can equate Raw to.
So, like, I was trying to,
I
like,
said NFL.
I'm trying to, like, compare it to another form of
I
media
see where you're
of
going.
entertainment.
The only thing that you can compare it to is another television show.
Are you going to watch an hour television show that only 15 minutes of it is good?
I'll watch. Yeah, because you want to see everything. Would I watch the next episode? Probably not.
There you go.
But I just think long term,
Yeah.
they have serious issues with the way they present the product, the creative direction of the product. I think it alienates people and makes them feel dumb for watching.
It does.
And I think when you do that to people, especially you're grown on it, you can do that to kids because kids don't fucking know any better. I watch a lot of things that I used to watch when I was a kid, and I go, man, that shit was dumb. Okay, so you
Power
can do
Rangers.
that. So you can feed kids whatever. They don't have a comparison.
But that's who they're feeding.
I know that, but I'm just saying long term. These kids grow up, they're going to stop watching, and that's not what you want. You want the kids to keep watching. You want it to be Harry Potter and grow along with them, and it's not.
There's already a problem with creative. And look, we can argue what
The
we
problem
like and
is
what we
that
don't
there's
like.
too much creative.
I don't think that at all.
I
There's
do.
too many fingers
They
in a
need to
pot
sit-
and no.
dude.
There's too many fingers in a pot and no big spoon.
Dude, look at NXT compared to the main roster. That's a perfect example of too much creative. They keep it trim and slim in NXT. They don't overbook it. They don't overcomplicate it. They don't present all this fucking off-the-wall shit. And what you watch is an acceptable, entertaining product.
No,
I have a
dude.
question. Do you
mean,
think
no?
that some of what WWE does is because they look for corporate sponsors still?
Of course
sure.
it is.
Yeah,
100%.
it's all because of that.
But that doesn't explain plot holes in booking. That doesn't explain.
Lazy booking.
And then making
Where's Gold Dust's protege? You know.
Oh,
God damn it! Somebody said it before me.
Well, either way, put your arms down. Calm down.
No.
This ain't a Nation of Domination meeting. Calm down.
My enemy's necessary, motherfucker.
But I'm just saying, they have to have some consistency, and there isn't any. And it just, I always say that honestly, if I wasn't involved so heavily with wrestling, I would have a hard time watching it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
just
only
all of it
because
right
I'm
now.
in this thing where I'm like, okay, and especially because we do podcasts and I have to watch the stuff. Dude, it's hard to get through these fucking episodes. And I'm, like, embarrassed and, like, cringing watching it and going, man, this is what fucking... There's no way wrestling's this bad. And I go back and I watch stuff, and, like, old stuff, there can be bad moments, but it's the opposite. There's, like, a bad moment or two amongst a really good show.
Dude, for some reason, like on the network, they have these like Flashback Friday things, and I was watching like old shit, like transition from Attitude Era to Ruthless Aggression Era. I mean, their roster was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, it was insane.
Dude, they had Lesnar, Angle, Hogan,
Jericho,
Rock, Austin,
Benoit,
Jericho,
RVD.
Benoit, Guerrero, Mysterio,
Hardys, yeah.
dude, the
RVD.
Dudleys, RVD. The fucking list goes on.
pretty much have
and
most of the
I'm looking at
ECW.
that roster compared to this roster, and like, yeah, this roster is talented,
But you also have
but the name value, the draw, is not there.
No.
And like, dude, and I was watching some of that shit really fucking delivered, man. Like, that was some
Yeah.
good shit, man.
Lesnar Angle WrestleMania 19.
I just watched that match the other day, dude. What a,
Holy fuck!
as JR would say, what a fucking slobber knocker, dude. That shooting star. Good
Michael
Lord.
Jericho versus at WrestleMania
All right.
19.
Back on to
So yeah, go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry. I just wanted to remind you
it-
again that the wrestling is the shits, but go ahead.
This is why something.
my comment about the overproduced thing. It's not. You can't say it's overproduced.
Yes, you can.
No,
dude.
you can't because Vince McMahon is the one running it. You're talking about NXT where Triple H is the guy. Triple H is the old school guy. Triple H, you can tell, loves the old school era. Loves the old
You're just
NWA
proving-
stuff.
You're just proving my point
No,
further.
I'm telling
the
you
main
that it's
roster
not-
is overproduced. NXT is not.
It's not overproduced.
Vince
Be-
overcomplicates. Triple H doesn't.
Vince McMahon runs it. You can't say it's overproduced when one person is. It's not like all these hands are going, and then we don't have the big spoon. Yeah, you do. You have Vince McMahon, who everything goes through,
Who's got like a 32-man booking committee, and he micromanages everything.
and everyone goes to him, and he's the one that says yes or no.
Yeah, and they all have their own ideas, and 80 to 90% of them get shot down. And it's just Vince's word at the end of the day, anyway.
Okay, so
you
again,
just proved your point wrong.
that you can't be overproduced if one person is
If
making.
that's not overproducing, I don't know what is. They're not letting these guys fucking be
I
themselves.
think you guys are making the same point, but just framing it differently. Okay, I really think you guys are.
Let me get some more pie.
You guys.
This is not big shaped pie.
Way to break the tension.
No, I think you guys aren't disagreeing, even though it sounds like you guys are disagreeing.
No, we are because I don't even think the main roster product is
It's
that
a
bad.
dick.
I do.
Pick it up.
I've watched wrestling for too long to know it's good. That's shit. That's a shit product.
I agree.
I think it's exactly what it's been built to be.
Dude, they do
And we
way too
can't-
much with it. They just need to do less. And the rest will work itself out. These guys have talent. They know what to do.
I have issues with even the in-ring work, even though I think some of it's really good. I'm just watching Smitty cut this fucking pie. It's blowing my mind. Anywho, it just, but mic-wise and character-wise, guys need work, and then consistency with booking needs work. Those are the two things. You can talk about everything else, and there are other issues.
And they're
But WWE makes money in spite of itself, and it's
In
a
spite,
bad
not
product.
because.
It is. And I know that because I've been watching it for my whole fucking life. I watched all the old stuff. I've watched everything from fucking 1960s, Mid-Atlantic, fucking so forth. I've watched it all. I'm telling you, this is a shit fucking product. It when you watch it, you are not entertained. I am more entertained by old NWA in the fucking 80s than
Yep.
anything that they produce, WWE produces
fuck
now.
Mid-South. Fuck, that shit was brutal.
Right, this shit is just garbage, and like it's not. Again, I don't think it's the talent necessarily. I think talent has some responsibility, because I think they're too afraid not to step outside their bounds and stick with what they're told. But I think what they're told is fucking dumb. I don't think Vince knows what's good anymore. I don't think Vince was ever a good booker. Let's be honest. I think he's a good promoter.
businessman.
I think he's a great promoter, but he's also the same guy that came up with the gobbledygooker. You know what I mean? He's the same
And
guy
the
that came up with
XFL.
the fucking Goon.
And the Goon, and Duke the Dumpster, and Tugboat, and
Yeah.
fucking a million other of them.
So like, I don't think Vince is a great booker. I think
In WBF.
he's had a handful of really great ideas.
XFL.
He's had a handful
XFL.
of really great ideas amongst piles of shit. And I just think the more creative control he has, I don't think he, at this stage of the game, even has a fucking clue on what people want to see.
He's out of touch.
Yeah, Vince, he created The Undertaker, but without Mark Calloway, that fucking... If anyone else but Mark Calloway was doing that gimmick, that shit would have never got over.
He created the New Day, and anyone else besides those three would have made that.
But
more
they
shit.
fucking... They changed it and turned it into their own thing, and they lobbied to do that.
Okay.
Vince didn't want them to do.
No, Vince wanted them to be active as black
I wanted
preachers.
to be.
I know what Vince wanted, and I know what they did. I'm not disagreeing with you.
They went the opposite direction.
What I'm
Yeah, they
saying
literally
is
did the opposite
they
of
took
what
their
Vince
gimmick.
wanted.
They took their gimmick that they were given and slowly but surely changed it to fit more of themselves. And now it's as over as possible, and it's because they're involving their
product that
personal
works
lives
is
in
the
it.
exact opposite of what Vince wanted.
But when you think about all the guys that are really over on their product, like
Or
organically,
the ones that stepped out of the band.
yeah,
right?
or the guys that exactly what Kelly
Yeah.
just said, are the guys that went and did their own fucking thing despite what they were told.
And dude, it is
indie
overproduced. A lot of these promos guys are doing are scripted and written for them. Like, so these guys are just reading lines as like bad actors, and they don't have a chance to develop a quick wit or a personality or the ability to cut a promo on their own, so they never fucking get better.
Right, or to improvise.
That's their fault.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's both. It's both. It's not one or the other. It's not just. I think talent deserves some responsibility, like I just said.
Yeah.
Because if you're putting me in that position, I don't want to go out there for all these years and just suck on TV.
But okay, you've been working a lot. What about these guys that come straight out the
You're
performance
telling me
center? And
Cesaro shouldn't be better? You're telling me fucking these other guys shouldn't be better?
Cesaro can't talk right now. I don't know why
That's
they keep
now,
trying to
dude.
make him talk with that thing in his mouth. But that's
just-
another story
But I'm just
for another
saying,
day.
like
Luke Harper.
there are guys that can do that could
me
get
started
themselves
on that.
over that don't.
Yeah.
The Bludgeon Brothers.
that are content collecting their paycheck.
100%. Kevin Owens. All right. When you had a conversation with Kevin Owens, he was on the Edge and Christian podcast, and
Oh,
he,
no. If you're
What are you
going to shit
looking at me
talk
for?
Owens,
No, I'm not. I'm not
Kevin
going to say a
goes
damn
through.
thing about Owens.
Kevin Owens takes what they give him.
I was going to say something about the complacent thing.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, you have to say something.
Or the complacent thing. The guys sit on their laurels and just, okay, take what they're given. And,
Ziggler.
Right. But I think guys go through a period of, like, going to creative and coming up with ideas and coming up with the promos for so long and so many times and having it being shot down that they're finally like, fine, what do you want me to do? All right, I'll do it. You don't think there's at least a small level of that?
I said there was.
Well, then I
just
don't
think
think it
that
can
was
be everyone being complacent.
I totally agree with. Yeah, Kevin Owens. Literally, okay. So the point I was trying to make, Kevin Owens, that when they said, "Hey, how do you make it sound like you're not reading lines, even though they're giving you a full script?" And he goes, "Because I don't memorize the entire thing. I memorize a lot of the bullet points, a strong majority of the script, but there's no way I could read that and sound normal if I read exactly line for line the way they wrote it. Other guys are doing that." So because those guys are doing that and they're not putting their own thing into it, because they're not putting their own thing into it, that's on them, dude. It doesn't fucking matter what they hand you. You make it something your own. Otherwise, you deserve the fucking mid-card spot or fucking low-card spot you have. Cesaro deserves the mid-card spot that he is because as fucking good as he has done nothing extra with his character. He has tried slightly in-ring. In-ring is not what's going to get you over in WWE. No bullshit. There's a reason Vince calls it sports entertainment. Cesaro is not fucking entertaining
He's the
until
only one that
Sheamus
calls
came
it
next
that.
to him. Doesn't matter. That's his company. You can argue that all you want. You're watching his company, and his company is sports entertainment. And sports entertainment, so he doesn't have to pay fucking any fucking money to the goddamn
It's
athletic
not about
commission.
the athletic commission anymore. It's about the athletic commission is not an issue anymore. They know the gig is up. The issue was the advertising dollars. They could get more and better sponsors with the word sports and entertainment in their product than they can with wrestling. But that's what used to differentiate them from their competition. They've already won their competition. They don't even need to do that anymore.
So Joe and Mike are getting awfully heated, but I can't stop watching
I'm not
Smitty
heated.
eat pie. Man's
He's just picking at it.
Man's happier than anything. While you guys just
And then he's like,
you guys
he'll
are getting angry for real.
Roman.
Smitty's over here just demolishing some pumpkin pie.
one word.
Fuck Roman. Something wrong.
Like Ziggler.
Actually, Mikey, I actually agree with you to an extent, especially about Cesaro. But let me poke like a small hole into your thing right there.
Victory!
No,
No, he's
I
trying to
like
point out.
pie.
no. Okay, dude, come on. A guy, Kevin Owens is gonna know to take a scripted promo and twist it around and turn it into his own. Braun Strowman never wrestled before, coming out of NXT. He's not gonna know that. Okay,
He wasn't even NXT. He was a Rosebud.
you know what I mean. He's not spent time on the indies. He doesn't know this business. So, and they have a lot of guys like that. And I'm not faulting those guys. I'm not knocking those guys. I'm not saying those guys shouldn't be there. But they're not going to know that, like, oh, I should take this and kind of turn it into my own words. They're going to be like, hey, boss is telling me to do this. I need to do it exactly like he's
I
fucking
agree
telling
with what
me.
you're saying.
What?
I also think there's a lot of
He's
indie
called somebody a
guys that
tool.
just read their script, though. I think Seth Rollins is terrible on the fucking mic. I think Dean Ambrose is a fucking annoying on the mic. I think a lot of these guys, character-wise, are shit.
I
And
think
it doesn't
so.
matter if they're from the indies or not. I don't think that matters. I really don't. I think it's just, at some point, you got to understand the way the business works, that you got to be able to get that little bit of heat backstage to do what you think is right.
In Seth's defense, his mic skills are way better than they were when he was Tyler Black.
Well, he's not a good mic guy. He never was.
I've said that for years. Like, guys need to learn how to say no to shit, and they don't.
What are you talking about? Neville just walked out, and I walked out. They said no.
That's there's so many people that don't. You know what I mean.
But like, you don't
There's
have
so
to
many
say
people that
no.
just-
You can find a medium.
You can say no, but
listen,
like, how about this instead?
what I always say is rock the boat, don't tip it. Okay? So don't go so far out of line where you're tipping the fucking boat and getting that much heat, but be willing to take the small heat for changing a couple words in the promo to make it seem more
Yeah,
realistic.
and if you're gonna say no, you better have a viable alternative. Don't just say no with nothing with without another option. You know.
Well, I need to learn that part, but go ahead.
Almost say hit the bullet points, but still make it your own.
All right, Kelly, you had a point?
I think that if you are someone who is really committed to your character, you're going to know where you need to add. And it's obvious, like when you're building this, you're going out there and you have a character, you have a persona, and it's not necessarily you. You're adding more, maybe you're extending onto what you are, but you're making it something else, right? That's what you're...
I feel like Bray Wyatt's super committed to his character, but misses the fucking ball a lot.
I disagree with you on that one.
But
All right,
we're
go
gonna-
ahead. Let
But
Kelly get to
the
her
point is, like, you can't say that these people don't know what they're getting themselves into when they get in the company. Like, you can't survive in the company without... No, I'm sorry. Like, when you sign up to be in a play, you know what you have to do to get the role and to fulfill that character.
There's a
to stand
difference
out.
between doing well in a class and passing the class than doing the fucking trade for 10 years.
But okay.
Okay, but what? So translate that to wrestling, because I don't know how the fuck that translates.
So the trade for 10 years, I'll give you exactly what he said. Some people get promoted. Others don't.
What do you mean promoted?
Some people become manager. Some people become CEO. Some people become CFO. Some
Okay,
people,
yeah, but that's a different kind of...
That's. I don't think that's relative.
I think she.
I think it's the same thing as becoming the main guy on a show or becoming the top guy.
I don't think they're necessarily like those people are going in and necessarily going, I want to be the CEO or the manager.
You
like,
can't tell me that a guy that did well in the performance center for a year is going to have the same level of psychology that a guy that's been working indies or other companies for 10 years have.
Sure, but I don't think it's translated in terms of characters getting over. I don't think like the indie guys are more over than the non-indie guys. I don't think it's. I think Strowman is just as over as Seth Rollins, who's worked and been in Ring of Honor and all this. I would say Strowman is just as over as Seth Rollins is right now.
It's all about how you build your character and how you present it and how you get people to like it or not like it
I
in a
agree
good
with
way.
Joe. I tend to agree with your points. I just don't think it's so dependent on whether or not they've worked the indies or not. And I'm a guy from the indies, so I would like to be like,
No,
the indies have helped so
I'm
much.
I'm just trying to say that some guys are going to come in here and know that they can manipulate the system and twist the words around and make the shit their own, even when it's written for them. And some guys aren't going to know to do that. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that part. Like I said, I agree with your point. I just don't think that the indie guys know any better than the
I was
indie
just
guys.
using that as an example. All I'm saying is some guys are going to know that they have the ability to do that, and some guys are just going to do what the fuck they're told because they don't know any better.
Right, but do you remember on the Dean Ambrose podcast with Austin, he said something along the lines of, because Austin was telling him to do something.
Yeah,
and
told him he was getting stale.
And no, the Austin podcast with McMahon I meant. And he asked him about scripted promos and this or that, and he's like, well, what do you do if guys don't do what they want? He's like, well, they need to do what they want. That was Vince's response. Or Vince was like, they need to do what they're told. And that was basically Vince's response. And the whole thing is like there's guys that believe when Vince McMahon tells them, you better follow this fucking script. They're like, okay, I'm going to follow this fucking script. I want to keep my job. I have a different mentality, obviously. But I don't think it's dependent on whether or not they've worked the indies or not. I think it's either just a thing where they're going to either do it or they're not, whether they've worked the indies or not. The Rock didn't work much indies, but he sure as hell knew at some point to fucking get himself over.
If I made it seem like only the indie guys know that they should do that, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. All I really meant was some guys know that they can do that and should do that, and some guys have no fucking clue. And that's not their fault.
It's totally their fault.
It's a little bit their fault. It's a little bit Creative's fault. It's a little bit of everybody's fault.
If you've been in it long enough and you still can't get over Cesaro-ish, let's get back to Cesaro. But he knows. He knows what he can do. I understand. I'll agree with you. You come into the WWE and you sit in there and you're in there for 5 or 6 years, and I'm not going to go much higher than that. You're basically doing what you're told to do because you're still new to the company. You don't have any type of leverage. You really don't. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So you kind of have. The Rock was thrown in there. He didn't want to be named after his family, but he was. He had to go with Rocky Maivia, and then he had to smile all the fucking time. Every time he went out there, Vince said, "Smile." You smile. You'll get over. You smile. Vince is not perfect. I agree wholeheartedly.
But he'll let a guy sink or swim.
Yeah, because a guy eventually will have to go, I can't do this. And he
will tell a guy what to do, and he will give a guy heat if he goes off script. But if it gets over, he'll reward him in the end. And I think a small piece of Vince is looking for that. But if a guy doesn't do that, Vince is going to accept that too and just see what happens.
Vince is like, look, Vince wants everyone to get
over. And I don't think someone that's only been in the system, like an ex-football player, ex-weightlifter, or whoever, that's only been wrestling or being trained for wrestling for a couple of years, is going to know that, hey, let me turn this into my own.
We've already said that, though.
I don't agree with that because sometimes you're so indoctrined. And I can speak from a personal standpoint. You're so indoctrined with the wrestling business and what you should do, and we were talking about the rules of etiquette and all that stuff. You're so indoctrined of trying to be respectful that sometimes you need an outside perspective to kind of gain perspective on what you're actually doing. Does that make sense? Or does that... Because Callie looks at me very confused. When you're so indoctrined, I always say we went to the wrestling school and we were taught so many things and this and that, and it's... Even though those are good things to know... they're not necessarily the way the wrestling business works. And so some of it, like in terms of like, if my job, I remember going through wrestling school, they told us, if your job is to put over a broomstick, you put over the broomstick, it's a work, blah, blah, no problem. But realistically, I know on the indie level, I have to carry this character with me everywhere I go. And if I just put over this fucking broomstick, I'm also the guy that lost to a broomstick everywhere I go. Mm-hmm. So at some point, I have to not do what I was told. You know what I'm saying? And so to gain that perspective, sometimes you need someone coming from an outside perspective going, hey, man, that's fucking dumb.
Right.
You know?
I'm not saying that you have to do what you're told when you start. Because statistically speaking, starting off as the rebel is not really going to necessarily get you anywhere. You have to follow the rules. You have to build up
No, I'm not saying
everything.
Rebel. That goes back to what Orlando was saying. You rock the boat. You don't tip it over.
But not coming in. Not coming in.
But you can't do that coming in right off the bat. You have to build everything up, and you have to learn like what character you want to get. Like you have to just build the experience and build just the environment, so you know where you can start making little steps that are out of bounds that aren't gonna cause like too much of a shit show. It's gonna make someone go, "Oh, that was a little different." But it may not be big. But it has to be a gradual thing. It can't just be like right overnight.
But if what is being written for you isn't working, you have to make adjustments on your own, and not everybody does that.
Right, but like that's what you have to do.
So then why is that created? Why is that the company?
At that point,
that's
then
what
that's
we're saying.
on you.
We're saying it's partially on the wrestler. You were saying it's not.
Because I think that there's been an environment built that these guys are just so ingrained where like, our shit's scripted, our promos are written.
And there is.
And and when we do, like I said earlier, when we do come with our own ideas, they get shot down a lot. And I think they just get kind of like beat down and just approach the situation, with the tail between their legs, coming to work, getting a paycheck.
Yeah, but you have to understand that the company has a picture of what they want done and what they want achieved. So, in a sense, you have to.
How's that working for them thus far?
Well, they're making money no matter what, so I think it's working
so, I mean,
fine.
Obviously something's working.
But they're not getting the numbers like with all the budget cuts.
I don't think
they're not making the money.
But that's okay. Keep going.
But point being, like, you have, if you want to be part of that company, you have to follow at least the bigger picture.
Yeah, but if you want to be a standout, you got to put your own spin on things.
You're both right. It needs to be a middle ground.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
I know.
That it has to be.
I agree with both. But again, I think sometimes you guys are arguing and you guys are actually making the same point. You guys just think you're making these different points.
Well, it's a talk show. You know, it wouldn't be entertaining if we didn't argue.
That's true.
I mean, wait.
It'd be
kayfabe, man. Kayfabe.
All right, so SmackDown.
Dead.
Oh, no, did we talk about fucking Alexa and Mickey yet?
No.
Go ahead, Gally.
I don't want to.
Honestly, like, I don't. I've said it before. Like, I just don't really give a fuck about Mickey James. Like,
Why?
I thought that program was rather entertaining.
It's fine. I don't. She's whiny. I don't know. I don't like her.
I agree.
And it's not like in a I was mad at Charlotte way. It's just like I can't connect with your fucking character. I don't like it. And it's not because she's old. I don't.
She needs to go ahead and watch.
What were you about to say? Oh no,
Mickey is.
Say it.
Nope. Say it.
We would not be the most
Say it.
inappropriate wrestling show if you didn't say it.
Say it. Yes, say it. Stop
Say it,
holding
goddammit.
back.
No.
You have no repercussions.
Yeah.
What's
Yes,
going
I
to
do.
happen to you?
Worse for. Never mind. Anyway, I
Say it.
just. Oh,
We got to get her drunk on the show so she just
Say it roundabout. You don't have to if you can't say specifics.
it's not that like I'm hating on the old people at all. Like, I don't have a problem with old people.
She loves old people.
Go on.
Yeah.
continue.
It's not that. It's just like they have her off the show for a while. Like when she came to Raw, she was off, and then you're trying to make her relevant again. And I hate what they're doing to Emma. I don't.
Why do you hate what they're doing to Emma?
Where the fuck do I begin with Emma?
Where you start?
I agree with her on that.
So you have Emma go for this. I started the women's revolution. Okay, cool. That's fine. Great. I'm going to see Emma actually winning shit. Like, cool. She's going to be heading up the chain. Like, great. No, you have her get fucking squashed and get her ass beat
By Nia Jax.
by fucking any person you put her with. And you can't just have her keep prancing around going, I started the women's revolution. I started the women's revolution when you have fucking Mickey James going for the fucking title belt.
Yeah, but Mickey James is a 6-time women's champion.
I don't-
And Emma's
Beforehand.
I don't care.
Mickey James was probably one of the
She
better
retired.
female wrestlers
Well, she
before.
went away and came back.
Listen, Mickey James is very, very bad on the mic. Like,
What are you talking about, you little biscuit butt?
Hardcore country.
yeah, I mean, like that segment she did with Kurt Angle backstage a few weeks ago is honestly, to me, one of the worst segments of the year. And it won't get rated as such because it's so under the radar.
Worse than This Is Your Life?
Yes.
Worse
Dude, I
than
thought
no.
This Is Your Life, 'cause
Listen,
that was
I
fucking
cringed
hilarious.
so hard when she tried to repeat. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Shucks.
I couldn't handle that. I watched this and I was like, fucking, dude, this makes me so embarrassed to be a part of wrestling. She is the
That killed my MILF
what's
boner.
the TJ guy on 205? What's
TJP?
TJ Perkins?
TJP.
He's a
She is
TJP now.
TJP of the women's division on the mic, dude. Like, I can't stand when she fucking talks. Like,
At least TJP has got like this cute little something to him. I don't fucking know.
yeah, that's exactly how I would
No,
have
he doesn't.
described it. So
He's like a cute little mouse, but
So-
like fucking
When Mickey James opens her-
James is like this
He's the new creepy little
country
bastard.
bumpkin that's just not anything.
CLB.
He's CLB too.
Entertaining.
No. I don't find Mickey James entertaining. I think the segment they've done some decent work in the ring,
Just
decent
whines.
enough.
Whines.
And I get it's just a filler feud, so I don't mind it that much. But
Why not give
but
Emma a chance?
I'm not impressed with Mickey's run. I I don't think she deserves anything.
They should have did it on SmackDown.
She's not as good as the girls today. At best, she can keep up. And on the mic, she's worse.
Dude, like I say, when she opens her mouth, my MILF boner goes down.
She gives you a MILF boner to begin with.
Yeah, Mickie James is hot, dude.
Mickie James is a MILF.
Whatever. That's your thing.
Okay.
Anyways.
Get rid of Kevin Owens.
Not the only person I'm into, but okay.
Anywho, I don't want to talk about who you guys get boners from.
I get a MILF boner from MILFs because they're moms I'd like to fuck.
But I just think Mickie James she can keep up with the girls. I think she's good enough in the ring to keep up.
Yeah.
She's not better than any of the girls, but she's good enough to keep up.
Do you think that some of it's her just over the years just getting over?
No, I think that era of
old lady really can do.
That era.
There is nothing that I would love more than to represent the WWE Universe as the new WWE Raw Women's Champion.
Laney Boner, dead. MILF Boner, dead.
I'd like to congratulate you as well, Mickie. Based on your career history being a 6-time women's champion and your performance tonight, I'd like to inform you that you will have your championship match versus Alexa Bliss at TLC.
You're missing the excited face of her just losing her mind right now.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Brutal. Bro, and like you guys don't even see the visual of her face when she's so excited. Like, I'm gonna use curse line. Watch this. You know what I mean? It's so brutal.
I use curse line. Watch this.
It's so brutal. Like, honestly, I was cringing so hard, man. So, anyways,
can we get back crazy Mickie James back?
Listen, what I want to say to you, Smitty, real quick, is that whole era of wrestling, Trish and them, they seemed good at the time because they were compared to
bra and panties and bullshit like that.
But if you look back and you watch those matches, dude, they're not good. There's a couple of them that are decent.
So my thing is like when I think of Mickie James nowadays, I think about her TNA run where she actually, her and Gail Kim would go for the Knockouts Championship, or her ODB would have a 3-4 star match.
I'm just not impressed with her anything she does.
But I
think she has a role there.
I say her current role.
She has a role there is fine. But to present her as anything serious, I think is like silly. I haven't hated the feud because I get it; it's filler for Alexa, so I don't hate it as much as Callie. But I do think Mickie in general has underwhelmed her whole time since being back. Even her first match with Asuka was underwhelming.
I got to say, like her run this time around.
Her work, what she's done specifically in that run, not just the way she's booked, because the way she's booked is different. Her work that she's put in, I think, is very underwhelming
compared to what you've seen beforehand, or just
no. I just think
general?
It's underwhelming for today's culture.
But you were just the guy that said you appreciate the old school, some of the older work that people.
Well,
do.
there's a lot of women wrestlers that are a lot better than me. If you're talking like Alondra Blaze and those girls could work.
Bull Nakano,
yeah, those girls could work.
She's my favorite female wrestler of all time.
Those girls can work. I mean, if you're talking the Crush girls in Japan, blah blah, you know. Like I always mention all these Japanese wrestlers. Those girls can work their asses off.
Oh no, let's say that's why I was really excited to see Kairi Sane come in.
Mickie James is, like I said, she's good enough to keep up with the girls today, but she's not better than any of them.
I won't say better.
All right, now moving on. The final thing that we're going to discuss on Raw is probably what I thought was. I personally think this is the promo of the night. Hopefully, there's no ad as I'm going to play this. Yeah, the ad will end in 15 seconds.
SmackDown ad.
So, the cruiserweights all come out, and Enzo has a blown vocal cord. So, Drew Gulak had to speak for him.
Oh no, at 205 Live, he had Daivari.
PowerPoint presentation was unceremoniously cut short last night at TLC. I cannot stand idly by and watch a visionary such as Enzo Amore be held down by the man. And unfortunately, due to a vocal cord injury, don't you hate when that happens, I have a prepared statement on behalf of Mr. Amore It goes as follows. If you know it, please feel free to say it along with us. His name is Enzo Amore, and he is indeed a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you cannot teach that.
You cannot.
Thank you. Bada boom, realist champion in the room. How are you doing?
He's straight up Carlton the whole promo, which is great. So
it is.
See,
great.
last night Enzo Amore may have lost his voice, but he did not lose the Cruiserweight Championship.
Because he didn't have it to lose.
Unlike Kalisto, he is a bigger letdown than the Green Bay Packers. That's Kalisto.
He's so literal.
Whoa. Silence your chanting, because I'd like to point out that in that situation, Enzo Amore was Anthony Barr, while Kalisto was Aaron Rodgers.
Enzo running around selling it like he said it.
And as for tonight, team Lucha, there seems to be only one word to describe you, and we are going to spell it out for you. S-A-W-F.
So Enzo coughed up a hairball at the end of that promo.
If Enzo loses his
That's-
voice, he's worthless.
So the funny thing is, on 205 for the rematch for the Cruiserweight title, he had Daivari do his promo for him,
Even better.
and Daivari just dressed like a Persian douchebag.
If Enzo can't talk, literally, he has no value at all.
What happened there, though, he didn't talk, and he still put over the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, he did.
I thought Drew Gulak was a star. And
But he wouldn't have said anything if Enzo was able to talk.
I said that earlier in the show. Said Drew Gulak is the next best personality that 205 has.
Yeah.
Next to Enzo right now.
Yeah, because they
I'm
lost
gonna
Neville, and he was a good personality. Neville was. I like how Gulak said like cannot instead of can't, and like you instead of ya. And he just like made it a point to like create the differences.
Oh yeah,
you know?
and he was good at it.
And he was. It was. He tried to sound like a nerd, and he pulled it off 100%.
Because that's his gimmick. Right?
It was
No-fly
great.
zone.
Dude. It was great.
I say, but yeah, Daivari's was just I don't think it was like Daivari. I think Gulak did better, but Daivari just looked more the part.
I didn't see 205 live. I also didn't see all of SmackDown. I didn't get Nakamura versus
That's the next week.
Steen.
That's next week.
Or I didn't get Zayn versus Orton. I saw like the first hour and 10.
So we're going to go into SmackDown now. Started off with Shane coming out to the ring talking about everything that happened, how he was taught that if you're going to get into a fight, you want to be the one to strike first. Sami Zayn then came out and they had a conversation, and Sami said he hopes there's no hard feelings. Shane has said of course there's hard feelings. What about his family? What about all that stuff? And then told him that if him and Kevin wanted to be involved in the Survivor Series team, they had to qualify. So he said that Sami Zayn had to face Sami Zayn had to face Randy Orton at the end of the show. Benjamin and Gable came out and defeated the New Day with cheap tactics while the Usos were on commentary. Sin Cara then came out and beat Baron Corbin for disqualification because Corbin would not stop beating the shit out of him. Jinder Mahal came out and responded to the Universal Champion himself, Brock Lesnar. Sorry. He came out and responded to Paul Heyman. AJ Styles then destroyed Sunil Singh. Becky Lynch beat Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and Charlotte to become the captain of the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team. And then Randy Orton beat Sami Zayn to become the first member of the SmackDown Men's Survivor team.
Double low blow.
And he beat Sammy by getting a low blow in on him while Kevin was talking to the ref, and then just hitting an RKO out of right where he was, because it was not out of nowhere. He literally lined him up and then hit the RKO while staring into Kevin Owens' eyes.
You're saying it was out of somewhere?
Out of somewhere. Very good.
Whoa.
Out of right there.
Mind. blown.
Smitty, were you upset with Sammy losing?
No, because when I saw the low blow thing and then he had the rematch next week, I just saw the whole Christian Orton feud again. To where whatever Sammy did, Orton just is going to go back and do it again.
What do you mean?
If you remember when Christian and Orton feuded over the world title, Christian won the title because Orton got disqualified. And then it was after Christian got disqualified the match before and all that good stuff. And it was just, I kind of saw a shorter version of that happening. I saw Sami Zayn going for the same tactic, and then Orton was going to turn it back on him.
All right.
So I wasn't upset with the loss.
Orlando.
Yeah, I had no issue with it. I mean, Zayn's gimmick is kind of, what's the word that you would use? Kind of like a putz next to Owens, so I don't mind him losing any match. He can lose any match any night.
They're the two stupid dogs.
Yeah, he's literally. That's not the word I was looking for, but he's whatever, the little sidekick to
You
Owens.
mean like Enzo was to Cass?
He's the Wayne to Butch.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a
Robin
better.
to Batman.
Aquaman to every other.
None of these
comic
examples
book
apply
character.
correctly the way I want them
Aquaman
to.
to any character that can do stuff on land.
Okay, I want you to read Aquaman. No, I'm going to nerd shit.
Either way,
Just
I
go
had
with the joke, man. Jesus.
I had no issue with it. None.
At first, I'll be honest, I did not watch SmackDown live. I watched it after the episode. Beforehand, I was running around taking care of things with the kid and everything, and then right after SmackDown ended, we did the Pro Wrestling Crate opening on Periscope. So then I watched SmackDown right after that, and I had opened up Instagram and saw that it said Randy Orton was the first person on the team. So when I saw the promo, I was annoyed. I was annoyed that Sammy lost because you just started to give him a push. Why was Sammy getting a loss right off the bat? And then when it became to a low blow, I was like, all right, I get it. You know, you're not hurting him with that. It was not a clean finish in the middle of the ring. Sammy took an L, but it took something to beat him. So I was okay with that. SmackDown as a whole,
Meh.
A butthole?
No, I said meh.
no.
38 years old. Nailed it, bro.
Gotta keep your youth, brother.
I was more entertained by the Shane and
I
Daniel
don't know
stuff
what
in
I
the
did.
backstage
I'm drunk. Leave me alone.
than I was with any of the stuff in the ring.
the dissension between the building dissension
Not the
between them.
dissension so much as to where it was, ultra babyface Daniel Bryan saying I don't agree with that, and anything that falls on it, I'm not a part of the whatever goes wrong.
Yeah.
And
Backlash.
I'm gonna tell you this right now: it's either making Daniel go away from SmackDown, or Daniel's gonna be one of the ones that are beat up at the end of it. Because otherwise, there's no real reason to say you're not a part of it, and then Raw roster doesn't care when they do get the retaliation. Which I thought was a very smart thing not to retaliate.
I agree with
this
that.
week.
And I thought, out of all things on SmackDown, I thought, this is not in regards to Raw versus SmackDown, but it kind of is. Jinder's promo was okay.
Yeah.
I thought he cut a decent promo.
I did see that. I
It was
liked
okay.
it. I liked it too.
Like, it seems like he's finally starting to gain some grounds. Unfortunately, it's about to end. But, yeah.
He's holding that belt till Rumble, dude.
Well, yeah. Why do you say it's about to end?
Because I think they're going to put him in Lesnar title versus title.
No, they're not.
I don't think so.
No.
I
No?
think it's just bragging rights type shit.
Oh, well then.
Survivor Series
He'll
is
be
the new
fine.
bragging rights.
And Jinder's losing.
Then he'll
by
be good
DQ.
to go. He'll hold that belt till Rumble. Sorry, I thought it was going to be title versus title.
Yes, I know. AJ's gonna beat Mahal at Rumble, and
No, man. They got to make sure that each show has their own title. Brock can't be running around with both.
I thought there was rumors of them combining
unifying.
the two.
Again?
Yes.
You just split
For
the
the
brands.
17th time? I mean, they just...
Listen, it's going to be epic this time.
I mean,
Jinder Mahal versus
they
Brock.
just got rid of
Who's
the-
going to win?
Brock
I have
is
no
gonna
idea.
They
kill
literally
you.
just got rid of the old WCW belt before they brought back the two brands and created the Universal belt. Now you're saying they're going to fucking...
I thought there was rumor of that, but maybe I just made that up. I don't know.
Well, I mean, anything's possible.
But I
with
swear
WWE.
there was a rumor of that.
Well, there's always rumors like, Nia Jax is pregnant. But that ain't true.
Nah.
Yeah,
We should talk about that.
We're going to.
Yeah, well, anyway, SmackDown, I thought that was... There wasn't a lot. It was really a mailed-in episode. I thought Jinder's promo was good. I hated fucking Sin Cara and Corbin. I don't understand why they think that's cool.
Again.
Just nonsense. SmackDown was a very not good episode, I thought.
I like that Becky's the captain.
I don't like that Alicia's the captain on Raw, by the way. We didn't address that. That was dumb as fuck.
Well, she's crazy, and that's why they're going to lose. So, good talk.
No, she's crazy, and that's why they're going to win.
Listen, I like Alicia
Really?
Fox. That's another girl who I'd like to see get a little push because I think she's decent in the ring, and I like her as a character being crazy. Alicia Fox. I like that she kissed the ref.
The crazy gimmick works for her.
Right. But that said, why the fuck would she be the captain? Why the fuck would she go over on? It's just nonsense, dude.
Even in a kickoff show on TLC, her trying to piss Sasha out the ring.
Opportunity to create shenanigans.
Well, shenanigans that show.
Shenanigans there will be.
She's going to knock out one of her teammates and someone's going to pin him.
Either way. So there's just been nonsense with that shit, but whatever. I didn't mind Becky as the captain, though.
I think it works because you're probably going to Charlotte's still going to be involved, and Charlotte's not going to take the lead, and therefore when SmackDown loses, it's not Charlotte's fault.
Well, also look at the way they've been building the way they've been booking Becky's character. She's been kind of eccentric, blah, 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 just nothing really sensical.
No,
Charlotte could get booked into a different match, too, like a singles match, maybe.
You already have all the championships right now. That's going to make
Charlotte versus Asuka.
That's gonna be Mania. If it's not
could
Charlotte,
be Charlotte
versus,
Rousey at Mania.
If it's not Charlotte Rousey, I could see Charlotte Asuka at Mania, or set up for the long term down the line with that. It takes it off of Charlotte's shoulders. I honestly,
which she needs right now. With her dad and his health and stuff.
He's doing okay, though.
Yeah, but still, that's been taxing.
But I don't think she would have come back if it's that taxing. I think when I say take it off her shoulders, I mean if SmackDown loses, which I think will happen, it doesn't look like Charlotte's team lost. It's Becky's team lost. So therefore, it's not affecting Charlotte.
Protect Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's they're all right with Becky
going
with Becky taking an L. Becky taking an L over Charlotte right now.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Is Nikki supposed to come back?
She's doing really well on Dancing with the Stars. I don't think she'll come back before.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, no, I understand that, but she is
not.
going to come back to wrestling. Yes.
Supposedly.
That's the rumor. Yeah.
That's the rumor.
Brie is for sure. Brie has already announced that she'll be back in 2018.
Dude, she turned into a dude when she was pregnant. Did you guys
What?
see any of that?
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. She
grew a
she
full
got
beard.
she got all huge and masculine. Her voice changed and everything.
My name's Brie
Hey,
Bella.
Daniel.
Hi.
She started smoking cigars randomly.
Right,
It's weird.
dude.
This is a weird pregnancy.
5 o'clock shadow.
You know what happens during pregnancy, right?
She bought a Harley.
No, please tell us.
She got possessed by a demon.
Kane.
I'm just telling you, I watched a couple of recent episodes of Total Divas. Not
Or Bellas.
I was going to say,
Total Bellas, yeah, I'm sorry.
Divas isn't out yet, so...
But I was like, whoa, Brie, whoa. Like her voice changed and everything.
What are you talking about?
She wants competition.
I have to go look at the first season of Total
She's the
Divas.
Bella's only demon.
Daniel, we have Lamaze class today.
I need some breathing competition. Bree Strowman.
She's gonna slit all of our throats one day. I'm first, probably.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the black guy always dies first.
Yeah, right.
God damn it!
You're like right after the dumb
The
bitch
whore.
that trips over nothing.
No, I'm after the whore. Sometimes.
I was going to say, the whore
Shit,
goes
I'm gonna
first.
die.
Yep. Bye.
The whore is she's
All
not the
right.
same dumb bitch that trips
So
over nothing.
rate the week in wrestling,
You've met Mikey, right?
including the TLC pay-per-view. Champ, rate it.
The pay per view.
No, rate the week.
Oh.
Well, like I said, I didn't see like the last 3/4 of SmackDown. I'll give it a 5.
Ooh.
A 5.
Smitty, tell us your 8.
I actually gave it a 5-5 because I say SmackDown was The only thing I really cared for on Raw was under the Siege, and TLC was probably the highest point.
All right.
4-5.
5-3.
What the fuck is with the random 3?
Dude, that's like her height.
No, it's not. You fuckwad.
What? Did you just get that you got called short? No, now look at Joe. He's all offended.
Trust me, I know from experience she's not 5'3".
Well, he's going, I'm 5'3".
That's correct. That's correct.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're not.
No, I just look big because, I'm intimidating and awesome.
No.
Yes, just say
He's
yes.
everything the WWE wanted Asuka to be.
Nobody can stop Amba.
Nobody's ready for armbar.
Nobody.
I give the Weekend Wrestling a fucking 10. Fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. It's nowhere near 10. I give it a 5 as well, just all the way around meh. So we mentioned it a little bit earlier. We're going to get into it now. Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated, SI.com.
Is that
the
Tom
guy
Barrasso's little cousin?
I don't know. The guy who does the column Extra Mustard, where he goes into all of the news, came out with a breaking news confirmed by several sources as to why Nia Jax walked out. Here's the exact quote from the article. The reason behind Nia Jax's much discussed leave of absence has been uncovered as Sports Illustrated learned that Jax balked at the idea of losing clean to Sasha Banks at TLC. She called her cousin Dwayne to ask for his advice. I had to say it like CM Punk. She called Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to ask for his advice, and Johnson encouraged her to walk away if she was unhappy. The history of the business is rife with examples of top talent, including Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, and The Rock, refusing to accept certain finishes. All of those talents held leverage over WWE due to their star power, while Jax's main source of leverage is the relation to her cousin, who is one of the biggest box office attractions in the world. How different would the career arcs of look for Dolph Ziggler or Zack Ryder, two extraordinarily talented performers continually put in different and difficult situations, if they had ever made a similar decision? Ultimately, Jax has to be the primary person to look out for her own best interest. Instead of tweeting about her unhappiness with creative, Jax was willing to walk out to voice her displeasure.
She's done. She gone.
No, she's coming back.
You are an
Bye, Felicia.
idiot if
No.
you think she's gone.
Bye,
She ain't
Felicia.
gone.
That's what I would do. Bye, Felicia.
You would, yeah?
Hell yeah.
You would do that. And you think that you would still have a good standing with The Rock, who
Fuck
is
The Rock.
he is a
He comes back once every 2 years to make an ass out of himself at WrestleMania. How valuable is that really to your company?
He's really gonna come. He'll still use the WWE machine to promote whatever fuck movie he's coming out with.
Well, I'm not going to say fuck The Rock because The Rock is sweet. But, however,
I'm not saying fuck Rock. I say
I think
At this point, though, how valuable is he to the
you make a
WWE?
valid point. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying I'm not going to say that because The Rock is sweet.
No, I like him too, but in the business aspect of what he can bring to the WWE at this point, fuck him.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. He brings a lot more to the WWE than you think,
Yeah, I'm not going to say
Well,
that.
he definitely brings more than Nia Jax.
and that's if
But
you get
my
rid of
thing
Nia
is-
Jax, you kind of hurting The Rock.
Here's
no,
the thing.
you're
with-
not.
No.
Go with your point.
With
Money
Nia-
talks.
I was in a car ride. I don't know. This is almost a year ago with Zara, whatever her name is, and
Is that the Seth?
yes,
porn girl?
That's said.
and so she knows all those girls, and she was asking me about the women's division and all that stuff, and I was blunt, so I was telling her my opinion, and I told her, Nia, as long as there's no other big girls there, stands to have a role there for a while because there's nobody else like her. I said, that said, there are big girls out there, such as Awesome Kong, who do that exact role much, much better than her.
Right.
So the issue is, if they get rid of her, that's one of the most unique things they have in their division. However,
It's not that hard to replace.
right, there are girls that are bigger girls who are a lot better than her and move a lot more well than her, who could easily fill that void, no fucking problem. So I don't think she's in a position to walk out. Nia was going to get her due no matter what because she's the only monster in that division, and she, out of everybody, has more longevity there because she's the only one there like that. So her walking out is a mistake on her part.
Yeah, I think The Rock gave good advice on what he should have done in that position.
Right. The Rock is...
But not for what she should have done.
Exactly. The Rock is The Rock. You know what I mean? He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And in general, in life, if you're not happy, you should leave. That's true. But if you want to be a part of wrestling still, I don't think Nia is helping herself by walking out.
But it also depends on your pull and your spot on the card and your name value.
Right.
Let's
agree.
look at the recent walkouts. Aries, Neville. They're gonna do just fine on the Indies.
Aries didn't walk out. He negotiated for a contract release.
Okay.
He didn't walk out.
He still kind of walked out. But all right,
let's not argue about that. It's the same shit.
Let's look at past ones. Lesnar,
Austin,
Hogan. These guys walked out, and
when did Lesnar walk out?
In 2002?
When he didn't sign a contract
he didn't
extension?
resign. He didn't.
It's still basically a walkout. He's turning his back on the company.
No, dude, walking out
is when you're still under contract and you leave.
Okay,
but he's going out on his own without the back of the company, knowing that he can make it on his own. What I'm saying is, I don't know that Nia Jax has the star power to do that.
And
the others did.
And on top of that, I don't think Nia has the skill set where she's going to be valuable to any company out there because, again, there are awesome Kongs and other girls out there that are big girls that are much better than her.
Yeah,
and I like Nia. I'm not shitting on Nia. I think Nia is good.
Yeah, I actually like her too.
But I just
think it's a dumb move though.
She's grown on me.
But I don't think she's in a position where she has that pull or where she's that valuable to outside companies where it's like, oh, we should bring Nia Jackson. I don't think she has that. She might get brought in, but she'll never get over like that.
Because her lack of skill set will be exploited in lower level companies.
She leveraged for a leave of absence. She's still supposed to come back before Survivor Series. Even put out a tweet regarding, I think, Natty.
That's what I said in the chat.
Yeah. Talking about, mentioning Survivor Series. So when we were talking walkout, Neville walked out. He wasn't even shown in the video vignette of the cruiserweight stuff.
I think that just
Completely
changed
gone.
the last week though, or last week.
It's
because he was shown after the walkout for a week or two.
Yeah, but when that vignette was put up on, I think TLC, I was looking at it. I was like, oh my god, Neville's not even fucking shown. Like the whole rip into all the people. Right. He never said anything. It didn't show Neville anyway. So hers is a leave of absence. So she's
been
coming
pretty
back.
silent on Twitter and stuff too, hasn't he?
Yeah. Nia did, I think, a very bad thing, but I can't be mad at it. And the reason I can't be mad at it is because she didn't want to lose clean to Sasha Banks at TLC. Her character is built as a dominant force. What dominant force loses clean in a one-on-one match and keeps that character arc?
That's why I don't totally hate it.
That's what I'm saying. I think
it goes back to kind of what we were saying earlier. Like, dude, you got to know when to say no.
Yeah, and
like,
she
dude,
did.
she's like, she's like, no, this fucking monster's not losing clean to this little bitch right now.
And that's why when I say with The Rock, she uses leverage, it's her cousin, and the WWE isn't going.
She'll get farther being related to The Rock than she would if she wasn't.
But
That's for sure.
Right now,
a lot farther.
I think she should be losing like crazy.
When she gets back,
coming back. And by saying
as a slap on the wrist,
you're going to lose
as a punishment.
fine. It doesn't have to be clean losses. It can totally be dirty losses.
I think she's lost clean though. She lost clean to Bayley at NXT. She's always lost.
I agree, but she lost clean to Sasha.
Losing clean.
And to me, losing to Sasha isn't the argument that you pull. If this was fucking Alicia
that's not
Fox,
the hill you want to die on.
This is Alicia Fox who's never done shit. Who's always been undercard even on the women's division of fucking 10 girls.
Mm-hmm. I know Banks.
Then okay, I get it.
Banks, despite her size, is a multi-time champion.
Right, and she's presented as such. So like losing to Sasha, I don't think would have hurt her any at all. You know what I mean? So I think she made.
I think it's a big swing of fact.
I like her cause. I think she picked the wrong hill to die on.
Exactly.
And I don't think that even though she's related to The Rock, I like her mentality, but I think she a little too big for her britches. I think she
pulled the power card.
But she bluffed on a power card. She played it, but when she turns her hand over, she ain't got it. You know what I mean?
It's just like
I agree with that.
It's like if Dustin Runnels came out now and tried to say, "I deserve a push." Remember who my dad was.
I don't hate her for the move. I actually respect it because
Don't you bring Goldust into this?
That's what because if I was a foot taller and 10 years younger, and I was like in the mix of being a wrestler, if I didn't like I'm not going to be one of those yes men, dude. And if it gets me fired, it's going to get me fired. But I will stand by my fucking beliefs, and if I don't like the way my creative's going, I'm going to say fuck you. Or like Orlando said, I'll rock the boat, not tip it. I'll say fuck you, but here's an alternative. Like I don't really like that, but how about this? But I do appreciate her willingness to say no when she's got her mind set against something. That's respectable.
I just thought when they brought up Dwayne's name, I'm like, dude, that's really just pulling a power card.
It is.
But how many guys in this company or anywhere around the world could pull a power card like that?
No one that isn't related to The Rock.
Well, I believe. Even though Natalia's character may bring it up, but she could pull a power card. Like Bret Hart was one of the guys that helped make the company in the '90s.
Yeah, but he kind of, at times had a pretty bad taste in the mouth of the company.
Can't pull that. Natty could never pull that. There's not many people that can leverage WWE.
I think Vince has made it that way over the years. He doesn't want any more Austins or Rocks or Hogans. He wants a roster that he can control. He doesn't want to have a roster that's able to hold him up. He doesn't want to have a roster that's more powerful than him.
I don't think anyone wants that.
But at times he's had it in the past, though.
That. I want that.
He's had it in the past, with guys like Hogan
Austin.
and Warrior.
I think that's
and
why
Austin and Rock.
And I think that's why they find Bullet Club such a threat because they don't need WWE.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things where it's like Vince is like, well, I don't want guys to have this option.
Man, I don't know if they don't need WWE.
Dude.
As in, they don't have to go to WWE? Yes, I agree. But man, without the WWE, they would not be where they are.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about just going to WWE to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the money and becoming
Speaking of Bullet Club, did you hear the promo about Bullet Club inviting
the McMahon's 10% off? Yeah. Up next, I want to discuss lastly the Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega Twitter feud, which a lot of people are. At first, everyone was like, holy shit. Now people are thinking this might be the best build in the world to a main event at ChrisJerichoCruise.com. Don't worry, I got it up.
No, like you say, my Google just
I have
timed out.
a tweeter, the tweeter guy at @thecan_am tweeted out, just watched Omega vs. Okada 3 on Access TV, and it was incredible. Forget Jericho. Kenny Omega is now the #best in the world by far. Jericho commented, best in the world, Kenny Omega isn't even the best in Winnipeg. #overrated.
Shots fired.
Obviously, both Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho are from Winnipeg. Kenny quoted that tweet and said, well, geez, what can I say?
As is Roddy Piper.
Well, geez, what can I say? Never meet your heroes, folks, lest they be a corporate stooge. Jericho responded, corporate stooge or 6-time world champion who's main evented in the big leagues for 17 years. Watch your mouth, kid. Kenny goes, nah, I'm just the guy having those 6-star classics you keep hearing about. Surely Y2J has had plenty of those in the big leagues, right? Jericho goes, your matches are incredible. Too bad nobody sees them. So,
Bill for the Y2J cruise.
Y2J went to WWE for an NXT tournament on the cruise. NXT eventually turned them down, so he went to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has a working relationship with New Japan, which is what Kenny Omega is signed to, and obviously has come and done Ring of Honor work.
He'll actually. Kenny Omega's
don't
gonna
have to whisper it.
Kenny Omega's got.
I'm gonna go on that cruise.
Kenny Omega's going to be on that. He's going to be making a couple Ring of Honor.
I was thinking about it too,
month.
actually.
Fuck it.
And my girlfriend actually said, like, yeah, it looks fun. So I really don't have an excuse not to go.
See you there.
You probably will, actually. Like,
if
I open up my internet right now, I'm on the page, like, looking at the rooms. Like, seriously.
Are we
I need
going on
to
a
figure out
cruise
the
to
room
Jericho?
situation a little better.
Are we going on a cruise to Jericho?
Are you allowed to go on that?
I was already thinking about it.
Listen, guys, I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Okay,
It's the Rock and Wrestling Rager
Jericho's putting a cruise together, like
It's music and wrestling.
and comedy
he's
and podcasting
bands
and food and booze.
bands, comedians. He's going to have an ROH tournament. There's going to be a wrestling ring on the cruise. To where there's going to be some sort of tournament. I think it's for the number one contendership for the ROH
I think they
title.
leave out of Miami and go to
Miami.
the Bahamas or something.
It is next year, end of October. There's pricing to where they are setting it up to where you.
It's very affordable.
Yeah, like there are 3 or 4 payments. You don't even have to pay it all up front.
It's very affordable. You got a year to do this. There's no reason why you couldn't do it.
I mean, that's how cruises are to begin with.
I love cruises.
Are you allowed to go on one of these?
I don't know, but
What if you brought it up as a cruise, not as a wrestling event? We'll see. What if you look at
Yeah,
it
man, we
could not a wrestling event.
We'll have you grow a beard, get a super tan. We'll put a hat on it. No one even fucking
I can't
know.
grow a 14-year-old Mexican mustache.
Oh, that's right, because you got low T.
That's right.
That's right.
Thanks for mentioning that on the air.
What?
Wait, I mean,
No, I don't have low T. I just don't grow facial hair. But thanks, bud.
that's a side effect of low T.
No, I think I think it's also just the fact that I'm native. But thanks, man.
You have low T.
Hey, do you guys think I have low T? By chance?
Message us. Tell us what you
WebMD
think. Let's
WebMD
take a poll.
says-
Does Orlando have low T?
Right
Says you
on the
have
Twitter
low
machine.
T
Right now.
and cancer.
Now you just gotta.
And cancer?
Now you just took
I
it
said
from here
WebMD.
to way past the.
You took it way past where I would take that
Yeah,
shit.
that's even
Congratulations.
raunchier than the raunchy
Bro,
one.
she's only drinking Mountain Dew. What the hell?
What did they put in that stuff?
I don't know.
Say,
Crack?
High fructose corn syrup.
Also, by the way,
Crack cocaine?
if you want to go for the carrot thing, I'll shave your head myself.
The carrot thing.
I'll show you a picture when I shave my head. I'm pretty good at shaving head.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you lost me on that one, brother.
As you said, he's got cancer.
Hey,
or whatever.
man, we are the nation.
No.
I'm just playing.
Of
Oh,
animation.
what? Say
This
what?
is the worst podcast we put out in a
Say,
while.
what you got? What you got against the nation dominations? Because they black.
And by worst, he means
Fight me, bro.
best.
No, I mean worst. I mean, it's pretty bad.
I ain't
Are you
gonna
guys
hit
about
you,
to fight?
but I'm gonna shake the shit out of you.
Try me, bro.
Wow, she called you bro. You should call her sis right back. Do we think that this is possibly a work into?
It's
the cruise?
100% a work.
Yeah, I'm,
We're gonna get Jericho versus Omega.
dude. Jericho
Mega.
likes so they've met. They've been on different like appearances together. Even when the whole crowd or internet was like, before they thought it was a work and they were up in arms like, oh my god, I was like, it's a work. So it's a work,
I don't care.
but it's a good work.
Got me.
It should, and that's how the internet should be used for wrestling these days. They're doing it correctly.
Let's go.
I think I said this. It's like what Ospreay and Vader did. I said that last week. I think it's like they presented it as a
Still don't know
shoot.
who Ospreay is.
Everyone else at the table knows who he is.
At least you know who Vader is, though, because Vader's sweet. Yeah. And it's always Vader.
Is
It's
that what we
time.
saw?
It's time.
At,
It's Vader time.
Live long and
It's
prosper.
time for me to finish what I was saying.
One thumb out for live long and prosper, son. Well, damn it, I'm the youngest man. Youngest man at the table. What I said, son.
It's all about Star Wars. Fuck Star
did you
Trek.
say the youngest?
I'm the youngest man. No, I'm not second youngest man at the table.
I just think it's a proper way to use the internet to create angles these ways, especially without the backing of a company, because now you can be almost as strong as a WWE with your own marketing, with YouTube or whatever, If you're smart and if you're charismatic, you can have almost just as much of an impact. So I think it's a work. I always thought it was a work. I still think it's a work. And I think it will lead to probably a match on the cruise. Yeah.
I do hope so.
And if we're there, that would be awesome.
I'm gonna tell you this. I want to be there.
I do too, actually. I was already thinking about this before we started talking about it.
So this is something that just popped up. Last week or the week before, the guys that left What Culture finally announced what their thing was.
Are they going to Impact? Because that was a rumor.
What?
Well, rumor was that two of them were going to go right
No,
for Impact.
Dude, I never root for a company to die or to not succeed, but Impact should just go away. They're so fucked.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, go on.
Good talk.
They're going to form a thing called Cultaholic with all of the guys. And now all of a sudden, one of the main guys is taking a leave of absence. Adam Blampier put on Twitter today around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Even though the Cultaholic launch day is approaching, which is November 1st, this is a statement to say that I have decided to take a short leave of absence from the business to deal with some personal issues. I wanted to make the situation public for reasons that will become clear. I want to publicly apologize for my actions in my private life over the past few years. I have falsely claimed to several women via social media that I was in an open relationship with my girlfriend as a means to repeatedly message them and encourage them to send me images of themselves.
Who is this?
I didn't take the threats
Adam
or
Blippy.
offer perks in exchange, but I exploited my growing public position and often my friendship with these women, all to fuel my ego. By manipulating them in this manner and acting completely inconsiderately of their feelings as I asked for these pictures, I have violated their trust and my girlfriend's trust. Rather than being a feminist and an ally, I have been selfish and misogynistic in my disregard of those I considered to be my friends.
Bro.
This is hypocritical, pathetic, and unacceptable behavior, which is why I'm choosing to make this a public statement in order to make a pledge to becoming a better man and hopefully encouraging the young men who follow me not to emulate my behavior. I own what I have done, and during my time away from YouTube, I will be focusing on getting professional help and coming to terms with the choices I made and the relationships I've broken. Thank you for reading this. To everyone I've hurt and to the many more that I have now disappointed, I am so sorry. I promise that I will learn from this, and even though it does not at all excuse what I've done, I will be better. Adam.
This nigga.
Hey, he took my line. He took my line. Go ahead, Callie.
His girlfriend typed that. That is some fucking girl shit right there. She's like, honey,
If it wasn't
give me your
his
phone. You
girlfriend,
want
it
to
was
stay
his
together?
publicist.
You want to stay together?
You need a
Give me
better
that phone.
British accent.
I can do it. I got this.
All right.
Actually, no, I'm not going to about to offend anyone. That already happened at
Go for it.
work. I'm not going to do
Just
British
say what
accent.
his girlfriend is saying.
No, but
Don't be nervous now. It's only podcast radio.
Just do the do. She's drinking Mountain Dew, folks.
I am.
It was
drinking
very
Mountain
clever.
Dew.
You're not
if
going to
you
say
were
it
here.
because I have more to go if you're not going
British-
to do anything.
No, I'm just saying that she was like, give me your phone. She typed that out and was like, I got this. It was like,
That's more black than British. I got this.
well, I decided not to go with the British accent. But
You're
my
right.
point
So
is,
you
like,
went blackface, huh? On a
Go with the
radio.
offensive black voice. You're good.
I can't believe that. Like, really? That is okay. So I would love to
You
hear a
have
man.
mumbled a lot, but not said one real sentence.
I would just, it's just not. It's
All right.
special.
11 minutes after Blampier tweeted, this young person or someone by the name of Ice Foreleg with @SR backwards.
Sounds official.
Yep. Tweeted Anna Blampier is a manipulative sexual predator. And wrote in their notes, which they put this out. About a year ago, a drunk Adam Blampier slid into my DMs and asked me to send him nudes. I was also drunk at the time, which I made clear to him. I asked if he had a girlfriend, and he said yes. I asked if his girlfriend was okay with this kind of thing, and he said she didn't know. So I told him that I didn't feel comfortable sending him nudes for that reason. The conversation moved on, but he kept bringing it back to sexual things, specifically my boobs. When I told him that I was 19, he commented on the fact that he was 10 years older than me, and then said, that means your boobs are probably big and firm. Quote, that means your boobs are probably big and firm. I told him I wasn't used to this kind of attention, so it was sort of an ego boost for me. He told me it was nice, quote, nice to break the habit. Knowing that I was 19, drunk, sexually inexperienced, and had moral objections to sending him nudes, he continued to try to persuade me. In the end, I relented. I don't feel good about my actions. I wish I had the self-control to not do it, but I'd never really had that kind of attention from a man before, especially not someone like Blampier. He was charming. He was the face of a YouTube channel, and I'd been a fan of him for a while.
What the fuck are we
Charming.
talking about anymore?
Charming.
The next day, he apologized and promised he'd be a gentleman from now on. He'd still Snapchat me occasionally, but usually ignored my responses. The whole situation made me very uncomfortable, so I asked him to leave me alone because seeing his face was affecting my mental health. My self-esteem was damaged. He made me feel so good about myself for about 6 hours. Then he made me feel like utter shit for months. I felt like I wasn't good enough, interesting enough, attractive enough for him to care about me. I kicked up a fuss, so he never did it to me again. If I hadn't, I'm sure it would have turned into a cycle, making me rely on him for validation, as this is exactly what he did to other women. I learned from a mutual friend that his situation with his girlfriend had changed. Apparently, she was okay with him receiving nudes from other girls, and she wasn't around. I would have appreciated it if I had heard this from Blampier himself, seeing as he knew I still felt guilty and upset about what had been happening between us, but clearly he didn't actually care about my feelings. He did tell me himself eventually, months later, when I asked him to stop Snapchatting me because it was making me feel like shit. Even after all of this, I'm not going to read anymore. So yeah.
This nigga.
So your line again, dog.
She's so stupid.
I love the
She's
fact
dumb. He's dumb. Can we move on?
I like the fact that we actually have Miami in the building right now because he dropping M-bombs. I'm like, yes, this nigga.
Cool. One black person agrees. Not all of them will, so that's good.
Hey,
Oh my god, that just so many things wrong with that whole comment back.
say this nigga and that dumb bitch.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, no, like, she's dumb.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's a
She-
validation. Go fuck yourself. I ain't got time. You're just some
19.
young
Suck a nigga,
girl.
they say, suck a nigga dick or
Young girl.
something.
Young girl.
All you gotta do is flash your tits and get the attention. Like, let's be real.
Right, young girl, fucking. Young girl.
My tits are out and
Making
Callie's
her-
giving me attention.
I'm leaving now.
Young girl.
That's my cue.
Just being dumb. Feeling so victimized over something stupid.
Well, but I mean, that's just this culture where we
I
play
know,
victim. When
just-
someone admits to it, they're like, "Oh yeah, it totally happened to me. You did it to me. Oh my god, give me the attention."
You did to me, even though I voluntarily
Me
sent
too.
you these photos.
Oh, wait, did I just say that?
So look at Bill Cosby.
What? Send me nudes? Is that
No,
what
Bill
you said?
Cosby raped bitches. That's different.
Never
man.
mind. I said.
he
I
roofied
said me too.
Oh,
It's happened to me too. Me too.
Bottom line
oh,
is,
I've been asked for
Okay,
nudes
now.
once or twice. I don't
oh,
Well,
don't make that
that,
joke. Yeah,
'cause-
that's-
Come on.
no, because it's
there's
not
difference.
the same.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. There's a huge
Stop being so.
no,
come on.
no.
I'll explain
No.
off the air why it's so different.
No, it's different. It's
Hey,
different. We're not making
all right.
that joke.
Okay.
Well,
I'll make it. I just won't
No.
make it right now because it's obviously butt hurting you. Fucking.
It's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be him that you're gonna butt hurt. I
I don't even care. Look,
I missed the joke. Go over it again.
No.
how bad is
fucked
it?
it up.
Smitty said not to do it.
Because I 100% agree.
It's not something to joke about. It's
It's
not
not.
100% at
Thank
all.
you.
Is it anything to joke about?
Yo, look, can we just
I'm the
get
one
off
that
air
goes
with
over
this
the
one
line
here?
tonight.
Can we go off the air with this? Because I
No, we shouldn't go off the air with this.
We are
Just go-
going off the air to this because it's time. We've gone over.
We went way over time.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to Breaking Down the Ring. Follow us on all of our social media, Facebook.com/BDRcast, Twitter BDRcast, Instagram BDRcast, Periscope at BDRcast, and you can get to watch all of the Orlando Christopher dick pie facing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he loved the dick pie. He said it tasted good. He said the cream
licked
tasted
it?
really
Yeah, it
good.
was all right.
oh, you didn't put no whipped cream on the top, did you?
Make sure you guys are getting yourself some merch. That Be Inappropriate shirt is starting to sell. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/BDRcast. Get yourself a Breaking Down the Ring logo shirt or a Be Inappropriate shirt. From what I've heard from the people that have purchased them already, are very happy with the quality of the t-shirts. One person even said that the women's fit was one of the best fitting shirts that they've gotten. I have no idea what the women's fit from a pro wrestling
Yeah,
tee
fit
is,
great.
but you say,
It went wonderful with his eyeshadow.
guys, if you like what we're doing, feel free to support us. Go to patreon.com/BDRcast. That's patreon.com/BDRcast, and feel free to become a patron of the Breaking Down the Ring podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and make sure you check out for our YouTube, Breaking Down the Ring, because we're putting up all of our full episodes. We started with last week. We'll get this one up really soon. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Your BDRcast champion, Armbar.
Smitey.
Miami.
The next little thing.
And the almighty one, Mikey. And for Z and everyone here at Podcast Detroit, thank you so much for listening. We are out.